You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
Cedar Rapids Kernels, that's a good last goal. Play ball!
Are you ready to let the good times roll? Are you ready for Kernels baseball? The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, and the Class A affiliate of the Anaheim Angels welcome you to Cedar Rapids Kernels baseball. Now in his ninth season as the voice of the Kernels, here's John Rogers.
An absolutely beautiful Sunday afternoon here. The Kernels on the heels of a thrilling victory last night against the Burlington Bees. Matt Moss and John Rogers bringing you the action live from the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. And, John, we're hoping to keep that streak alive.
Boy, we needed a win big time last night, Matt, and the Blues Brothers got everybody jazzed up into an exuberant frenzy. And it's ironic that the fellow that got us through the final two innings and pitched around that suicide squeeze that would have tied the game in the ninth inning will be joining you this afternoon on the Dugout Interview.
That's right. I had a chance to sit down with Bob Zimmerman, and we talked about, well, a whole bevy of different topics, including that wild finish last night, as well as some other topics from his past, and it certainly will be a very interesting interview.
Matt Moss will host the Dugout Interview on this beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon from the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Kernels did trim Burlington last night. 3-2, it upped our record against the Kansas City minor leaguers to a sterling 10-3. Bob Zimmerman, Kernel All-Star, up next on the Dugout Interview. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on The Zone.
As a parent, have you ever experienced the frustration of watching your child struggle at school because of poor study habits? Did your child's grades suffer last year because of poor organization? Do you wish your child would be more motivated at school to realize his or her true potential? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then Educare Learning Center has a proven study skills program just for your child. Educare Study Skills Program has helped hundreds of area students gain the study skill tools necessary to turn grades around. So if learning how to study needs to be your child's first lesson, this year give Educare a call. Classes begin Monday, August 9th and Monday, August 16th, just in time for school this fall. Space is limited. Call Educare Cedar Rapids today at 832-1965 and get this year started right. That's Educare of Cedar Rapids, 832-1965. Educare is fully accredited by the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools.
On the Kernel Dugout Interview today, we have Kernel closer Bob Zimmerman, who picked up a thrilling six-out save in last night's 3-2 victory over the Burlington Bees. Bob, it was great to end that four-game skid, and boy, what a thrill it was with ending the game with that pickle and also with the ground out to Mike Gaffney. Any comments about that squeeze play?
I just kind of expected it coming, having a runner on third, one out. I mean, it's just in the back of your mind. You don't know for sure, so just tried to go up and in on the hitter, and he ended up missing, and we got an out.
Now, John and I, as we sat up here and watched the game, we thought that pitch that you threw that pinch runner Brandon Powell was picked off on, that we thought that should have been called a strike because Mike Gaffney offered for a bunt. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, he definitely went around and tried to bunt the ball, but I guess the ump was too concerned with the runner coming home from third and didn't even realize it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, luckily everything worked out for the best in the end, and Mike Gaffney ended up grounding out. Well, Bob, what I wanted to ask you about was a six-out save. You don't see a lot of guys go out and throw, in the big leagues at least, you don't see a lot of guys go out and throw for 2 innings. Of course, today with the Hall of Fame inductions, Dennis Eckersley is being inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he was certainly a guy that could go out and give you 2 or 3 good innings for a close. Is there a certain amount of different mental preparation that you go through when you're going to give more than 1 inning of closing?
No, it's the same thing. I mean, you just got to go out there and give it, go right at the hitters with your best stuff. Like, you're only going to be out there for one inning, but, I mean, you don't see it a lot in professional baseball at all, but in college, when I was a closer in college, I used to have 2 or 3 inning saves a lot, so, I mean, I've been there before.
So you were definitely prepared for that, and we're all of us Kernel fans are thankful that you were up to the challenge last night. Now, when you were put in the 8th inning, were you given any notice that you would be working the 8th and the 9th?
I mean, I kind of figured when they told me I was going in the 8th that I was going to finish the game.
And you mentioned your college days at Southwest Missouri State, Bob. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the new stadium, Hammons Field, that they recently built there, that just opened this March. Did you get to see, or did you get to go inside that stadium while it was being built?
Yeah, I was there in its early stages, like just when they laid down the sod and before they had all the stands or any of the press boxes or anything up. And I mean, from what they had, it was really nice. And I hear it's supposedly, one of the best, if not the best, in college baseball right now.
John and I were looking. Well, Bob, that brand new Hammons Field where Southwest Missouri State plays, that is certainly a beautiful ballpark. John and I were looking at some photos of that. And we'll continue on with our discussion of your days at Southwest Missouri State when we come back from this break. We're going to take a brief time out. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Multitasking is today's buzzword. We're parents, employees, board members, spouses, caregivers. The list goes on. Your local Pekin Insurance Agency, Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, is great at multitasking, too. Sheets Forest Draper will find the right insurance coverages for you. See Scott Draper of Sheets Forest Draper for coverages on your home, auto, life, health, and business. Finding the right insurance is one less task for you to do when you depend on your hometown professionals with Pekin Insurance.
Emergency hotline, can I help you?
Yes, I need help.
All right, sir, what's the problem?
I can't taste my beer. I feel it in my mouth, but there's no taste.
Okay, sir, this is what I want you to do. Put the bottle down and step away from the beer.
Okay.
Walk straight to the corner store and pick up a 6-pack of Miller Lite.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's going to be all right.
Next time, try the light beer that actually tastes like beer. Great tasting, less filling, Miller Lite. Miller, good call.
Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, Bob, we were discussing your days at Southwest Missouri State, and you told me that there's a hot prospect in the Phillies organization, Ryan Howard. He was a teammate of yours, right?
Yeah, my freshman year there, he was on the team with me, and I mean, he had tremendous ability, and he probably should have been a higher pick. He was a 5th-round pick. He probably should have been in, first or second round, but his numbers slipped a little bit his junior season, and, so he went down to the 5th, but once he got the pro ball, it's just been succeeding.
And you said you described him earlier as a power hitter?
Yeah, I think right now he leads all baseball in home runs. I mean, majors, all the minors. He has like 38 or 39 right now, and that's just incredible.
Wow, he sounds like he's definitely be a good future player for that Phillies organization. Well, Bob, one thing I wanted to ask you about, and one thing I'm sure our listeners are curious about, is as a closer, which big league closers do you idolize, or do you try to emulate, or just who did you grow up liking?
Well, when John Rocker used to be in his prime with the Braves, I liked him a lot just because of his high energy level and, sprinting out to the mound and, just getting it done. But, I mean, other than him, I just, nobody really stood out in my mind that, I want to go out there and be like every time. But, I just go out there and try to get the job done.
You mentioned John Rocker. Certainly you wouldn't want to partake in having batteries thrown at you, though.
No, some of the things he did, I have I don't know.
But definitely his intensity and energy level is something that any closer could use on the mound.
Oh, yeah. You got to have that. You got to be high energy out there and not, Well, Bob, earlier in the season, Von Sturzbach was the closer for the Kernels, and of course he moved up to Rancho. Could you describe what it was like when you had to fill his shoes? I mean, he was doing a great job down here, and I just tried to go out and do the same thing he was doing, and it seemed to be working out, and he seemed to be having great success up there as well.
And we're glad to see such a bunch of our Kernel hurlers doing so well in all facets, be it starting or closing. Well, Bob, we want to wrap things up here on the Dugout Interview. You've certainly been a fun and interesting interview, and we want to present you with this $5 gift certificate to Zio Giano's, the best in perfect pasta and homemade bread, the best in big league Italian cuisine from Zio Giano's. Well, Bob, it's been a real pleasure having you in the Dugout Interview, and I hope to talk to you again sometime.
Sounds great.
Bob Zimmerman on the Dugout Interview. We have our 2 o'clock start time with the Burlington Bees coming to you from the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Gas prices giving you the blues? Get into Randy Keel Honda and save with great fuel mileage on all Hondas in stock. Still need the SUV, you say? Well, the competitive CR-V will get 24 miles to the gallon. The safest, best family sedan, the Honda Accord, will definitely save the family pocketbook with 34 miles to the gallon. Save even more on gas mileage with the compact Civic, getting you there in 38 miles to the gallon. Or the amazing fuel mileage of the Honda Civic Hybrid, 48 miles to the gallon. And that is in the city. Randy Keel Honda has a huge selection of pre-owned Hondas, too, all with exceptional fuel mileage. Randy Keel Honda, the home of confidence, has many other pre-owned vehicles priced to move as well. Randy Keel Honda boasts the best prices in Iowa on new and pre-owned vehicles. Start the savings now and get into Randy Keel Honda, 4425 Centerpoint Road Northeast, or on the web at randykeel.com.
Perhaps the most outstanding day for baseball we've had all season. I cannot believe it's July 25th. It's appropriate that Center Stage is bringing us Christmas in July. Santa Claus and all his helpers are here to celebrate Christmas in July, and it certainly doesn't feel like Christmas, but it doesn't feel like late July either. The temperature is in the low 70s. The humidity is completely non-existent, and a light breeze is blowing in from right center field as the Kernels try to make it 2 straight over the Burlington Bees. The Kernels still haven't found their offense in the second half. We're hitting just .254 as a team, but last night a 2-run single by Bobby Wilson in the 4th inning to take the Kernels to a 2-0 lead, and then the Kernels tacked on an unearned run in the 5th inning that turned out to be the game winner in a 3-2 thriller. You heard all about it with Kernel broadcast assistant Matt Moss hosting Bob Zimmerman on the Dugout Interview. Let's set the starting lineups for, believe it or not, the 14th meeting between the Kernels, the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the 2002 World Champion Angels, and the Kansas City Royal minor leaguers, the Burlington Bees. The Kernels have won 10 of the 13 games played between our two ball clubs. Jim Gabella, who most recently was an area scout for the Cleveland Indians, is in his first year at the helm with the Burlington Bees, and this will be the order that Jim Gabella sends up to the plate this afternoon. Brett Groves, a fine-looking third baseman out of Florida State, will be at third, and he'll lead it off for the Bees. Batting second, Brandon Powell. Powell was the man that came on to pinch run for Kila Ka'aihue and was hung up between third and home in a pickle and was tagged out for the second out of the 9th inning on a botched suicide squeeze. Powell bats second and plays second. Hitting third in center field is Chris Lubanski. Lubanski was caught trying to steal second, and then later in the game last night stole second base. Lubanski is batting third in center. Big Cole Hilt, all 6'8" of him, is the designated hitter, and Hilt will bat cleanup for Burlington. Hitting fifth at first base, he slugged his 9th home run of the year that put Burlington on the board last night against starter Kevin Jepson. Kila Ka'aihue is at first, batting fifth. Kevin Reinking didn't play in last night's series opener. Reinking will catch in bat sixth. Hitting seventh, Mike Gaffney. Gaffney, the shortstop, he was the man at the plate on the suicide squeeze that could not get a bat on a pitch by Bob Zimmerman that led to the tying run, being caught in a rundown between third and home last night. In left field for Burlington, Brian Graham, he'll bat eighth. And batting ninth, Jeff Berry. Berry is in right field. On the mound is the Bees' top winner, and this is pretty impressive. The Burlington has won 36 games. Greg Atenzio has 7 of those 36 wins. He's starting this afternoon. Greg is 23 years old, a right-hander out of the University of New Mexico. Greg Atenzio was taken in the 10th round in 2002 by the Kansas City Royals. Atenzio's record is 7-8, a 4.19 ERA. Against the Kernels, Greg is making his third start. He's 0-1. Greg Attenzio's last start was a beauty. It was Tuesday night up in Appleton, Wisconsin. Greg Attenzio was an 8-2 winner against the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and in that start, he gave up just 1 run on 4 hits in 7 innings to post his 7th win of the year. Greg Attenzio, a right-hander from New Mexico, is pitching for Burlington this afternoon, making his 20th start of the year. The I-380 clearance sale is in full gear at Allen Motor Company. Every in-stock vehicle is tagged with the lowest price of the year at Allen Motor Company. They're open until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, open till 9 on Monday. You can save $6,000 on all 2004 Buick LeSabres right now at Allen Motor Company during their I-380 clearance sale. Save $8,000 on all GMC 2004 Sierras. They start at just $25,430 at Allen Motor Company. Every in-stock vehicle is tagged with the lowest price of the year right now during Allen's I-380 clearance sale. Allen Motor Company, I-380 in Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha, open late till 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. Here's Colonel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss with the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup.
Thank you, John. Leading off for the Kernels this afternoon in center field is Quan Cosby. Batting second in left field, Matt Pauley. Brandon Wood bats third. He'll be at shortstop. Batting in the cleanup hole today is the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez. The designated hitter today is Michael Collins. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Blake Balcom. He'll be in right field. Matt Brown is at the hot corner today. He'll bat seventh. Tommy Duenas is the catcher for this game. He'll bat eighth. And Billy Boyer will bat ninth. He'll be at second base. Making the start for the Kernels today is he was recently just called up from extended spring training in Mesa, Rafael Rodriguez, who in 4 appearances posted a record of 0 wins and 2 losses. He went 15 innings in his time at Mesa and allowed 18 hits and had a 6.46 ERA. So, John, this will be the first appearance that he's made here in a while.
Yes, his first appearance, Matt, since April 19th. Rafi got off to a rocky start with us, made 3 starts in April, and we knew something was wrong because he was a 10-game winner for us last year. And sure enough, Rafael Rodriguez had an elbow problem, and he's worked very hard after making 26 starts as a Colonel last year and posting a record of 10-11. Rafi's worked very hard to get back in this chance to help the Kernels down the final stretch. Just 5 weeks remain about 6 weeks remain in the season's second half. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is proud to present our Anderson and Brown Eye Care umpiring crew. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is a Bausch & Lomb contact lens specialist, and Anderson and Brown Eye Care is a leading dispenser of contact lenses in our area. Anderson and Brown Eye Care has locations inside Lens Crafters in Westdale Mall, Coral Ridge Mall, as well as North Park Mall in Davenport. The Anderson and Brown Eye Care umpiring duo finds Bobby Price working the balls and strikes, and on the diamond is Dixon Sturman. The Cost Cutters Dream Team members are getting a thrill, and Matt, it's not often that members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team get to stand in on the meeting at home plate between when the lineup cards are exchanged.
Now a couple of young gentlemen there finding out some of the inner workings of the game.
They sure are. In fact, Bobby Magallanes is taking one of the members or 2 of the members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team and explaining to them why the lineup cards are being exchanged as they are. I cannot believe, as Center Stage presents Christmas in July, how beautiful it is, July 25th, and it is so delightfully cool that we've picked the right date. Santa has a couple of his elves standing down below. The Kernels and Bees are both wearing uniforms, Matt, that we haven't seen in this series yet.
No, the Kernels sporting their red knit batting practice tops, John, I believe those are, and the Bees wearing their blue batting practice jerseys with yellow numbers, blue hats, gray trousers, and a blue stripe running down the leg.
And the Kernels in those red knit batting practice tops that Matt described you are about to take the diamond. It's just a little before 2 o'clock, and we want to remind you that you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Zone. ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Matt Moss, if you're a baseball purist or traditionalist, you'll want to be with us later this evening on the Zone because we have what many think, and you and I are biased. We think the Cardinal-Cub rivalry is the best in baseball, but how about tonight on the Zone?
Well, tonight on the Zone at 7:05, you can listen to the third meeting in a grudge match at Fenway Park between the Yankees and the Red Sox. That should prove, well, there's a lot of hype swirling after yesterday's rumble between Jason Varitek. Well, it really turned into a bench-clearing brawl, but the bulk of that was between Varitek and Alex Rodriguez. But there's certainly going to be a heightened sense of drama and sense of urgency in that matchup tonight.
And you'll hear it just before 7 here on the Zone. The Kernels are gathering in front of their first base dugout, giving high fives to each other, and a little bit surprised that we don't have more folk here, but I bet it's because they're still finishing up church and brunch and an early Sunday dinner. If this is the most beautiful weather we can imagine for a game in July. The sun is now hidden a bit behind a cloud, but I don't want you to think it's overcast. The clouds are big, white, billowing clouds and a very light blue sky, and we'll have plenty of sunshine as this afternoon evolves. Both the Kernels and Bees come in with records of 14 and 15 in the season's second half. Both the Kernels and Bees are 6 lengths behind Kane County. The Cougars are setting quite a pace and making a major statement about the excellence of their ball club. They, of course, edged the Kernels by a game in the season's first half standings, and their record is 20 and 19 here in the season's second half. The Kernels take the field, and the Kernels are autographing the soft toss baseballs of their Cost Cutters Dream Team companions. We're going to pause because Wendy's is going to present our national anthem singer. It's going to be Derek Ferguson. Derek Ferguson is going to sing the Star Spangled Banner on this delightfully cool late Sunday in July. Let's join him.
I'm proud to be an American and proud of our flag and all for which it stands. Please stand as Wendy's present our national anthem.
Broader America, please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem being performed today by Derek Ferguson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bumpers singing air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Christmas in July at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, brought to us by Center Stage. The members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team are trotting off the diamond. Matt Moss will bring us up to speed on afternoon action as we roll along here in the early going today on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. The Kernels and Burlington Bees, the second game of a 4-game series, will shift to Community Field tomorrow night before wrapping things up with the Bees on the year Tuesday evening. Baseball next. Deb Williams, our in-studio engineer. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
If you don't stop by one of Jungi's 4 great locations, how will you know you got the very best deal? Stop in today at Jungie Lincoln Mercury Isuzu in Cedar Rapids, Jungie Ford and Jungie Chrysler Jeep Dodge in Center Point, and the new Jungie Chevrolet Pontiac in Anamosa. Now, 4 great locations. Still, one great name, Jungie.
Well, Matt Moss, before the Bees bat here in the first inning, let's at least tell our listeners there was an interesting article in this morning's Gazette that I'm sure you'll have a chance to read later about allegiances in eastern Iowa. J.R. Ogden and his staff did a survey, and the Cubs came out on top as far as people following the Cubs, a little more than the Cardinals, Twins, and Royals. But where are the Cubs? Where are the Cards? Where are the Royals? And where are the Twins?
Well, we'll get a look at that here as we cruise through the State Farm Major League scoreboard. A lot of afternoon games, as always, on this slate Sunday with the slate full. And we'll start things off at Jacobs Field, where the Tribe up 4-1 over the Royals in the bottom of the 5th inning. At the Sky Dome, the Blue Jays up 5-0 over the Devil Rays in the bottom of the 4th inning. And at Camden Yards, the Twins, John, holding a 3-0 edge over the Orioles in the top of the 2nd as the first pitch is thrown.
And it's upstairs. Ball 1 from Rafael Rodriguez, a fastball to Brett Groves. Groves walked in the 6th to put Burlington runners at 1st and 2nd with nobody out, but Kevin Jebsen pitched out of that jam. Groves, a left-handed batter, a switch hitter rather, takes a strike from Rafael.
On the south side of Chicago, the White Sox meeting the Tigers. That game is just getting underway. In Oaktown, the A's meet the Rangers at 3:05. At Safeco Field, the Mariners will meet our parent club, the Angels, at 3:05. And tonight on the Zone, you can listen to the 3rd and final round of that grudge match between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
A change-up, and Brett Groves swung over top of it. Strike 2. Groves hitting .241, a switch hitter batting left. And he nubs one in front of the plate. A tough play for Rodriguez, but Rafi picks it up with the bare hand near the first base line and whips the throw to Lopez, and 1 out. Boy, Tommy Duenas had to pop out of his catching squad, and he and Rodriguez teamed up and got their signal straight, and it was Rodriguez who picked up the ball with the bare hand about 15 feet to the right of home plate and threw in time to get Brett Groves. Here's Brandon Powell, the second baseman. He was the fellow that was caught between 3rd and home last night on the suicide squeeze play, and he serves one down the line and left for extra bases. Over to get it is Matt Pauley. Powell rather, is turning towards 2nd, and he makes it ahead of Pauley's throw. Brandon Powell dumps a double down the left field line with 1 out here in the in the Burlington top of the 1st inning. We'll get to the National League here in a moment on that State Farm Major League scoreboard. Chris Lubanski has a chance to put the Bees on top here in the top of the 1st inning. The Kernels avoided falling into that trap which plagued us against the Beloit Snappers in our 4-game sweep loss to the Milwaukee Brewer minor leaguers. We did not fall behind to Burlington in our win last night. Lubanski nubs one foul to the on-deck circle towards Cole Hilt.
Big Cole Hilt. John, we said last night that the big 6'8" designated hitter, that bat looks like a toothpick in his hand.
And to tell you how strong he is, he has not 1 but 2 batting donuts on it. Lubanski, a left-handed hitter, watches a fastball from Rodriguez go high and away. Tommy Duenas crossed up, so he's out to the mound, and Matt steps to the plate with the National League.
Well, north of the border at Olympic Stadium, the Expos continuing their good luck against the Marlins. They're up 4-0 over the Fish in the top of the 5th inning. At Shea Stadium, the Braves and the Mets are all knotted at 2 apiece. That's in the bottom of the 3rd. At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies and the Cubs scoreless in the top of the 3rd. At PNC Park, the Reds up 4-0 over the Pirates in the top of the 3rd inning. At Minute Maid Park, the Brewers and the Astros scoreless in the bottom of the 1st.
Swing and a miss on a fastball that ran outside towards the left-handed hitter Lubanski. Chris is only 19 years old. He's tied with Kila Ka'aihue for the team lead in homers and RBIs. Each have 9 home runs. They've both driven in 37 runs. A runner at 2nd with 1 out. The Bees have a chance to jump ahead here in the top of the 1st. Rafi ahead, though, 1-2. And another foul up the first base side.
At Busch Stadium, the Cardinals up 1-0 over the Giants in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And this afternoon's action on the West Coast, Padres will be at L.A. against the Dodgers, and the Rockies will face the Diamondbacks at Bank One Ballpark. And John, that's a complete look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, and Lanny Peterson.
And we thank those 4 fine State Farm agents. A ground ball hit sharply up the middle, backhanded by Billy Boyer, and he throws Lubanski out. Chris Lubanski hit it hard past the mound, and Billy Boyer made a tough backhanded play look easy as he went down at his left shoe top and backhanded that hard hit smash. Brandon Powell goes to third as Lubanski's thrown out by Billy Boyer at second, and the more and more I see Billy Boyer, the more I like him. We sure do miss Howie Kendrick. Howie will, before it's all over, will probably wind up missing 2 months with a strained groin, and Tommy Duenas just saved a run, a changeup in the dirt, blocked by Duenas to keep Brandon Powell at third. Big Cole Hilt took it for ball 1. Hilt is wearing a different pair of shoes than he wore in last night's game, but they still are big enough that he could walk across the Mississippi River in 2 steps. They are humongous feet. And a bouncer over the mound. Billy Boyer charges and boots it, and Burlington leads it 1-0. Well, charge that run to me. I spoke how well Billy was playing, and I put the whammy on him. Cole Hilt reaches on a Billy Boyer error that gives Burlington an early lead here today, 1-0. It's an error all the way, and Billy had to come in and got what looked to be an easy hop, but he'll be charged with an error, and an unearned run has scored here in the first inning.
You're right, John. It was a bit of a high hop, but he basically just booted it right off the front end of his glove, like you said.
So an unearned run scores for the Burlington Bees. They've called it a hit, but I'm sure they'll change it to an error. That was a routine play for Billy Boyer. Kila Ka'aihue, who homered last night, grounds one to Billy Boyer. Billy finds this one easily and underhands to Brandon Wood to end the inning. So Burlington's Kila Ka'aihue forces Cole Hilt 4-6, but Burlington takes advantage of a Kernel error and scores an unearned run. On one hit, there was one Kernel error, and the Bees leave 1 man on. And after 1/2 inning, Burlington won. The Kernels coming to the plate. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
Your attention, please. Here's an important reminder for Cedar Rapids area residents from your friends at Solid Waste and Recycling. The 6th Street Recycling Center is no longer open, but you can still recycle cardboard, newspapers, magazines, paper, glass, and plastics at City Carton on Ingleside Drive, 3 blocks west of 6th Street. It's free, convenient, easy to use, and open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember the new recycling location, City Carton on Ingleside Drive, west of 6th Street, near Hawkeye Downs. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center reminds you the planting season continues all summer long, so you still have plenty of time to start your beautiful garden with quality plants from Peck's. They have a large selection of perennials, trees, shrubs, and evergreens that are potted, growing, tenderly cared for, and ready to plant. Add a splash of color with a few plants, or let Peck's experts design a complete landscape plan and professionally install it for you. Stop in or call for an estimate. And remember to take home fresh flowers from Peck's, like their flower feature. Short-stemmed roses, $9.95 per dozen, cash and carry. Yes, short-stemmed roses, a dozen for just $9.95, cash and carry at Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, corner of Polaris Ferry Road and Edgewood Roads Northeast. Peck's, growing with the Cedar Rapids area since 1956.
Santa and one of his friends have pulled out the Goodwill T-shirt hot dog blaster, and they're launching those items up into the crowd on Christmas in July here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. The crowd will grow as the afternoon progresses. The Kernels gave up an unearned run to the Bees in the top of the first, and let's see if we can get it back against one of the best starting pitcher for the Bees, Greg Atencio. Atencio is from New Mexico, and he'll face Quan Cosby. Quan takes a strike at the knees from the right-hander. Cosby hitting .241, a couple of homers, 24 driven in, and a team-high 8 triples for Quan Cosby. Nothing for 3 last night. Walked and stole second in the 8th inning. And Quan looked to go around on a curveball. I suppose he held up. And now they check with the base umpire. Bobby Price looks down at his partner, Dixon Sturman, and Dixon said safe, but I thought Quan went around. But what do I know from up here?
Boy, that's the second piece of charity Quan's got. That stolen base he had last night we thought was really close.
Yes, the throw beat him, but apparently Quan slid under the tag of the second baseman. Quan does swing and miss at a curve, and he's in the hole 1-2. The outfield for the Bees plays the Kernels switch hitting leadoff batter around to hit the other way. Backdoor curve, and that's low. It's 2-2. Greg Atencio has been a workhorse for the Bees. He's pitched 109 2/3 innings, giving up just 103 hits. He's fanned 89 in 109 2/3, walked only 41. 2-2 to Cosby. Swing and a foul out of the catcher's mitt of Kevin Reinking. Reinking is the catcher. At third is Brett Groves. He's impressed us with his glove this season. Up the middle for Burlington, Gaffney at short, Brandon Powell at second, and Kila Ka'aihue at first. Kila is a big, big guy. A little looper into shallow left center. It may fall, it may fall, it may fall. It does fall. It does fall. Quan Cosby's aboard as the tying run, and Matt, we have noted this because we've seen the Bees so frequently this season. This our 14th meeting with them. Chris Lubanski plays the deepest center field of anybody in the league, and that's the reason Quan's drive fell in front of him.
That's right, John. Lubanski had a long ways to go and almost made it. He just seemed to be off by a couple feet there.
Boy, he plays a deep center field. And it cost him. There goes Quan! A base hit into left center by Matt Pauley. Quan will make it to third without a play. And Matt Pauley, on a perfectly executed hit-and-run singles, has put runners at first and third with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Matt Pauley stroked one into left center. Quan was off and running, and as Brian Graham cut to his left to retrieve that base hit on the hit-and-run single, Quan made it to third without a play. Oh, that hit and run is the most exciting play in baseball when it's executed like the Kernels just laid it out. Runners at the corners with one out, and the batter is Brandon Wood. Brandon hitting .280, 10 home runs, 50 driven in for Brandon Wood. Strike one at the knees from Greg Atencio. Atencio's ERA is 4.19. Burlington's team earned run average is 4.35. So you can see what a challenge the Kernels have today. We're trying to tie it in the bottom of the first inning after relinquishing an unearned run in the top of this frame. Brandon Wood smacked his team-high 24th double of the year last night to help the Kernels score in the fourth inning. Base hit into left, a broken bat single, and it brings Quan home. We're tied at one. Matt Pauley stops at second. Brandon Wood was jammed, and he was strong enough to break his bat and wrap it through the left side of the B infield for his 51st run driven into the year. Now the Kernels have a chance for a big inning. Burlington's lead did not last long. The first two Kernels have singled here in the bottom of the first inning. Brandon Wood broke his bat, but was strong enough to lace it through the left side of the B infield on the fly. Swing and a miss on a high fastball by Baltazar Lopez. Baltazar in 27 games is hitting .311, 5 homers, 15 runs driven in. Lopez from Mexico, a left-handed batter. Swing and a tip foul, and that fastball got by Baltazar. He's in the hole, 0-2.
Lopez's batting has been one of the bright spots for the Kernels here in the second half.
It really has, Matt, when you consider how Brownie and Matt Pauley have tailed off. The catcher, Reinking, steps up outside. The pitch is swatted foul down the left field line, and it will be beyond the reach of both third baseman Brett Groves and left fielder Brian Graham. They scramble for it. Matt, this is a very, very gratifying scene to look out onto the Randy Keel Hopkins Picnic Pavilion and see two big groups out there.
The good people from Moore Wallace and Applied Systems enjoying the game on this mild Sunday from the Randy Keel Hopkins Picnic Pavilion. On the Miller Mezzanine Terrace today, Farmers State Bank.
Ah, that jingle's in my mind. With Farmers State Bank, you've got a good friend here at home. Locally owned Farmers State Bank, taking it in on the Miller Mezzanine Terrace. It's funny how jingles stay in your mind. That's the whole purpose of a jingle, is when you hear the name, you think of their jingle. Lopez on a changeup, cuts through and misses, and that's the first out of the Colonel first inning. Baltazar Lopez down on strikes. Pauly at second, Wood at first for Michael Collins. Michael Collins is a guy who has helped the Kernels a lot. He's only played in 15 games, but he's batting .250, a homer, 7 RBIs. Collins is much like his fellow Australian, a totally different type of player. Of course, Nick Kimpton is a fleet-footed, terrific outfielder who can bunt and steal bases. Michael Collins, a tall, lanky catcher, but they have one similarity, and that is they play the game hard-nosed. A breaking pitch drops into Michael Collins for a strike from Greg Atencio, Atencio. Sun starting to try to break out
behind those big clouds.
Big white billowing clouds. Ooh, Matt Pauly danced off second as though he was going to try to steal third, and another very slow Yellowhammer is in for strike two. Michael Collins steps all the way out of the dirt batting circle. He's a right-handed batter. He hit 333 for Provo in 37 games last year. Atencio wants a pop-up strikeout or double play. The Kernels want a base hit from Michael. A wild pitch, and the runners go to second and third. Greg Atencio went low and away, and Kevin Reinking did not get his body in front of it. He tried to backhand it, and now the double play possibility is kaput. And Burlington may bring their infield in. Let's see what Jim Gabella rather, does with his infield. He's going to keep his infield at regular depth. Jim Gabella leaning up on the top step of the B third base dugout in that classic managerial pose.
John, I think the Bees will be willing to trade a run for an out here.
It looks that way. Can Collins put the ball in play? No, a swing and a miss on a curve. It was low and away, and Michael Collins unable to get that runner home from third with less than 2 out. It'll take something in the way of a base hit now from Blake Balcom if the Kernels are going to take the lead here in the bottom of the first inning. We're tied 1-1. Blake Balcom hitting .264 with 4 home runs, 34 RBIs, second on the team to Brandon Wood with 20 doubles. Blake, a right-handed batter. A slow curve in the dirt. This one blocked by Kevin Reinking. Blake didn't play in last night's Kernel victory. Kernels in their navy blue hats with red bills. And as Matt said at the outset of the broadcast, both teams are wearing their knit batting practice tops. The Kernels in bright red and the Bees in royal blue with gold numbers. The 1-0 to Balcom is zinged outside. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, Atencio reached into his arsenal of tricks that time and came from the side, didn't he?
That's right, John. I think Atencio's having a little problem with his control. We've already seen that wild pitch. We've seen numerous ones go into the dirt. That one was almost outside the batter's box before Reinking got a glove on it.
In fact, Kevin delivered the pill back to the hill because he was either crossed up or surprised by that particular release point. Blake Balcom trying to come through in the clutch with 2 on in scoring position, 2 out, bottom of the Kernel first. Curve and a swing and a miss. I thought he hung it. I thought that Atencio hung that curve or changeup, but Balcom was still out in front of it, and Greg Atencio had some kind of nerve to throw a 2-0 pitch that well, a 2-0 changeup. Pauly at third, Wood at second. Blake with a spread eagle stance, a deep crouch. A pop-up on a changeup. Kevin Reinking, the catcher, near the backstop, has it to end the inning. Blake Balcom fouls out to the catcher near the backstop to end the Kernel first inning. We tied it, but we should have gotten more. The first 3 Kernels singled, and the Kernels settled for 1 run on those 3 hits. There were no B errors, and the Kernels leave 2 and have stranded their first 2 of the day. We head to the second with the Bees and Kernels tied at 1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Quiznos Kernels Kids Club members. Did you know that your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card is good for more than just great deals at the ballpark? That's right. By showing your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card at any of the Cedar Rapids Quiznos, you'll receive a free small drink when you buy a Quiznos sub. That's a free small drink with the purchase of a Quiznos sub when you show your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club card.
Quiznos, Tuesday.
Checking out the classifieds?
Yeah, I'm tired of working at dead-end jobs. I want to work for a company that offers opportunity.
You know, I just got a job at Access Direct, and they're looking for people like you.
Really? What makes Access Direct so different?
I'm making $9 an hour, and I'll be getting a 50-cent increase within 6 months. Plus, there's always room for advancement.
How about benefits?
Access Direct has a full benefit package that includes 401k.
And vacations?
Access Direct offers 10 days vacation plus holidays.
Why am I looking in the classified?
Put that paper down.
Can we go to Access Direct right now so I can apply?
Let's go.
Don't settle for just any job. Find your future at Access Direct. You'll enjoy a relaxed, friendly work environment, and you'll work with great people just like yourself. Plus, you'll receive a competitive wage, benefits including 401k, 10 days vacation, and holidays off. Check out Access Direct today. Corner of Wiley and Williams Boulevard, and just off the Coralville Strip in Coralville.
Well, the Kernels knotted things up at 1 apiece against the Bees here. They were able to get leadoff singles by Quan Cosby, Matt Pauley, and Brandon Wood drove in the run. However, the Kernels then went down in order. Lopez, Collins, and Balcom all went down, and Atencio, the bee hurler, was able to keep the damage at a minimum, John, and we were hoping we could have got a little bit more of that as Rafael Rodriguez throws the first pitch, a ball to Kevin Reinking.
Yeah, we had runners at second and third with only 1 out, and Michael Collins fanned, and Blake Balcom fouled to the pitcher. Reinking didn't play last night, and he's ahead 2-0. That sun we were talking about has reappeared on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Glad you're with us. Kevin Reinking hitting 148 in 9 games, a homer, an RBI. He's a veteran of the Midwest League, was originally drafted by the Padres. A breaking pitch from Rafi, a strike. Kevin Reinking played a full season in the Midwest. Well, I wouldn't say a full season. He played 43 games with the Fort Wayne Wizards in 2002 as a San Diego Padre minor leaguer. He's a right-handed hitter with a wide stance. And he swings at a changeup and misses. Rafael Rodriguez has come back to even the count 2-2. 1-1 our score in the top of the second inning. It is just so beautiful here. Glad you're either down below tuned in or with us on the radio or the internet. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. It was way outside. Reinking tried to hold up, couldn't do it, and Rafael Rodriguez has recorded his first strikeout of this afternoon. Mike Gaffney, the fella at the plate, when Bob Zimmerman came in on him on a suicide squeeze in the top of the ninth last night, the turning point in the game. Gaffney unable to get his bat on the pitch from Zimmerman, and as a result, the Kernels got the out. The pinch runner Powell between third and home.
One of Santa's little helpers milling through the crowd.
Looks like one of our great helpers, Addison, but boy, does he look good in that elf's costume. Ball 2 downstairs, and Rafael Rodriguez has fallen behind the right-handed batter Gaffney. You talk about a tough go of it with the offense against the Kernels this year in 12 games. Now the Bees are hitting just .203. Our ERA against Burlington, 2.65. Ball 3 is upstairs. Gaffney has been very patient, and he's been rewarded with a 3-0 count. Mike's a right-handed batter from New York, and he's ahead 3-0 with 1 out and nobody on in the B's second inning. Strike 1 at the knees from Rafael Rodriguez. Gaffney went to New York Tech. He's 22 years old, and he was 1 for 3 last night. He walks. He waited as the pitch was ruled down and away. The crowd behind home plate getting on. Bobby Price, the plate umpire, they thought that 3-1 pitch was good enough to be a strike. 1 on, 1 out for Brian Graham. Graham doubled home Mike Gaffney, the runner at first, with 2 out in the 7th inning last night to make it a 1-run game. Graham was 1 for 3. He is from the East Coast, from William Patterson University in Wayne, New Jersey. They're a Division III powerhouse in the same league as the Wisconsin Oshkosh for Division III baseball. Strike 1 called on the outside edge from Rodriguez. Outfield plays Brian Graham at medium depth and straight away.
Big lead for Mike Gaffney.
Yes, and he has 4 steals and 5 tries. He's not running as Rafael spins one in down and away. Graham hitting 173, 1 home run, 14 runs driven in. Burlington hitting 203 against the Kernels in 12 games. Check that in 13 games. They're hitting 203. Overall, they're hitting 226. That's last in the 14-team Midwest League. The hit and run may be on. Gaffney not going. Swing and a miss on a good changeup. The left-handed batter Graham steps out, taps his spikes. Jim Gabella wearing a long-sleeve royal blue shirt underneath his royal blue top, coaching at third for the Bees. Bees inscripted in gold letters, big block gold letters across the front of their royal blue jerseys. Ball 2 is up and away. And Rafael Rodriguez has had to make quite a few pitches here in the first couple of innings.
John, do you think he's going to be on a pretty strict pitch count here with his first appearance, his first start?
I would think so, Matt.
But he did make 4 starts at Mesa, though, so I'm wondering how long.
Maybe he'll be stretched out to 80 or 85. Ball 3, though, is low now. And you've mentioned pitch count, Matt. Rafael has run the count full to Brian Graham. Plaza section down the right field line here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium has several dozen people enjoying the surroundings. In fact, some of them have taken their shoes off and draped their legs over the row in front of them.
Kicking back and relaxing.
I remember, and I'll share this story in a moment, about one of my first visits to Wrigley Field in the early or mid-'70s. The runner goes, and a pitch drilled foul into the Colonel right field bullpen. It skips up into the Plaza section. Boy.
Good thing that went foul, otherwise Gaffney probably would have scored.
Yes, he would have. He was off on that 3-2 pitch, Matt. I doubt if this rule is still in effect. It might be at Wrigley Field. It used to be in the mid-'70s. You could take your shirt off in the bleachers, but not in the grandstand at Wrigley Field. And I saw a fella get kicked out of Wrigley Field by an Andy Frayne usher. Andy Frayne is a regional. There goes the runner, and a ground ball to Lopez. Baltazar has no other play but to shuffle quickly to his left and tag first base. Mike Gaffney advances on the 3-2 pitch that was pounded right at Baltazar Lopez for the second out of the inning. This Andy Frayne usher politely asked a fellow who had taken his shirt off in the grandstand to please put it on. He refused to. An argument ensued, and they kicked him out. And the reason I say that is I look down on a cool day like today, and there's no reason to have your shirt off. And as a matter of fact, I see only people that have taken their shoes off, not their shirts. Jeff Berry takes a strike at the knees. A right-handed batter. He's hitting .230 with a homer, 21 RBIs. Burlington has a runner at second with 2 away in the top of the second. Berry from the University of Vermont swings at a breaking pitch and missed it by a foot. Strike 2.
Berry's wearing those blue socks about knee-high length,
exposing all of his royal blue socks. He stands straight away from the right side. Jeff Berry out of the University of Vermont lifts one in the air to shallow right. Billy Boyer with his glasses down underneath it, and Billy has it with one hand. 5 steps back on the grass in shallow right. Jeff Berry pops the second, and Rafael Rodriguez has spun 2 terrific innings in his first start as a Colonel since mid-April. No runs for the Bees in the second, no hits, a walk. There were no Colonel errors. Burlington leaves one, their second stranded of the day. And after an inning and a half, the Colonels and Bees knotted at one. You're enjoying Colonel baseball on the Zone.
People say that I can't decide things. They are so wrong, but I could be wrong about that.
A U.S. Bank check card with checking that pays gives you a choice of rewards, like cash, points for merchandise and gift certificates, World Perks miles, or even sweepstakes entries.
Easy decision. I'll take the cash. No, it's a sweep.
Sign up at your local U.S. Bank or call 1-800-720-BANK.
I've made up my mind to put off my decision. That is final.
U.S. Bank.
No, wait.
See banker for complete details. Member FDIC.
A classic liberal arts college nestled among scenic river bluffs, Luther College is a Phi Beta Kappa school with more than 60 majors, minors, and pre-professional programs. But more than that, Luther is a place where people wonder, discover, and dream. A special place where students learn about themselves and find their higher callings. Luther College. For more information, call 1-800-458-8437 or visit us on the web at www.luther.edu.
The way to pocket important savings is to take advantage of Chevron motor oils and lubricants from the Otson Oil Company, your local Chevron oil distributor. Chevron lubricants are made from higher quality base oils for better performance, and that means longer life for your engine. Contact the Otson Oil Company in Cedar Rapids for details on how you can save time and money with Chevron lubricants. The Otson Oil Company, serving Iowa with quality lubricants since 1933. Visit Otson Oil Company at www.otson.com.
Bottom of the second inning, and the Colonels will have the lower third of their order to face right-hander Greg Atenzio. Matt Brown 0 for 2, but was hit by a pitch and scored an unearned run in the fifth inning last night. It turned out to be the game winner as the Colonels got two shutout innings from our dugout interview guest Bob Zimmerman to win it 3-2. Boy, Greg Atenzio is using his changeup almost exclusively here in the first couple of innings. A change of speeds is outside, ball one to Matt Brown. Brownie sizzles one foul straight back, and one of the TV9 photographers with a big heavy camera on his right shoulder was flinching on that one. I don't blame him. Matt still leads the club with 18 homers. 7 of them have come against these Burlington Bees. Matt Brown takes inside a curveball from Greg Atenzio. Greg was an 8-2 winner his last start Tuesday up in Appleton. In 7 innings, gave the Timber Rattlers just 1 run on 4 hits. We're tied at 1 in the bottom of the second. Ooh, ball 3 just missed outside to Matt Brown. We have a very important State Farm Major League Scoreboard bulletin brought to us by State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, and Dale Thompson. A swing and a miss by Matt Brown.
John, the Cubs at Citizens Bank Park facing the Phillies. There is a no-hitter by Eric Milton being thrown there. The Cubs in the 8th inning, losing 2-0. Eric Milton no-hitting the Cubs thus far, so we'll see how that progresses. Hopefully the Cubs can get on board, get some runs, but it sounds like Milton's throwing one heck of a game against them.
Well, Matt, thank you very much. And whether you're being no-hit or you're the team that has the pitcher throwing the no-hitter, like Don Cardwell did in the early 60s for the Cubs, like Kenny Holtzman did in the late 60s for the Cubs, and I'm sure there's been some recent guys that I'm missing. Bert Hooton, I believe, threw a no-hitter. A change-up, and Matt Brown is down on strikes. Boy, Greg Atenzio is using that change-up so effectively here in the first inning plus.
Not even really changing anything, John. They've all been off-speed, slow-speed pitches.
That's been his best pitch. It was great to have Carol and Rich Kendall bring their grandkids, Avery and Kendall, to the ballpark earlier this afternoon. That almost looked like a knuckleball, and it flutters over the head of Tommy Duenas for ball 1. I'll check with Randy Waho for the voice of the Bees, but that, to me, looked like a knuckleball.
John, that one looked almost like it came out of his hands.
A deep drive foul down the left field line by Duenas for strike 1. Matt, I think you're right. It may have slipped out of his hand
before he wanted to release it.
Carroll and Rich Kendall were here to drop off some more goodies for the Culver Small Fry promotion, and they reminded me that you still have time in the month of August and September. There's that change-up, knuckleball, whatever it is, and it's dribbled foul to the B third base dugout railing, strike 2 on Duenas. The Kendalls reminded me to remind you that you can stop into either of the Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger restaurants to sign your kids up to be the Culver Small Fry of the game. Tommy Duenas batters one high in the air to left. Settling in underneath it is Brian Graham for the second out of the inning. And unless the Kernels make some adjustments in their second at bat, it's going to be a long afternoon because Greg Atenzio is throwing nothing but off-speed pitches, and he's fooling the Kernels. 2 gone here in the second. 1-1 the score. As the Culver Small Fry of the game, your son or daughter will be escorted out to the field between the second and third innings and get the autograph of their favorite Kernel player on their Culver's cap, and then Mr. Shucks will present them with a certificate for a free kids meal at either of the Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger restaurants. Ball 1 outside to switch hitter Billy Boyer. And ball 2 is up and away to the Kernel switch hitting second baseman. Well, Eric Milton was one of those guys the Yankees traded to get Chuck Knobloch. And Milton had a great career with the Twins. Swing and a miss on a fastball. And that's the other thing, Matt, about that steady diet of changeups. When you use the number 1, it looks a lot faster.
Right.
Gets on top of you. Boyer hitting .250 in 16 games. Shoots one foul into the sweep to our left.
You're right. That fastball looks a lot faster when you're used to seeing pitches coming at you about 75.
Billy was 0 for 3 last night. The 2-2 from the Burlington right-hander looked like that knuckleball, strike 3 called. Greg Atenzio has mastered some sort of pitch, and we're going to check with the B broadcaster, Randy Wayhofer, to see what in the world it is as our Culver Small Fry takes the field. The Kernels go down in order. Atenzio has fanned 4 in 2 innings. As we head to the third, it's the Bees and Kernels tied at 1. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
Been looking to buy a used car, truck, or van? If so, head to Select Auto now. All vehicles are priced to sell with bottom line pricing. Monthly bills getting you down? Can't afford the car of your dreams? No problem. Select Auto offers payment plans to fit around your budget. Select Auto also offers great warranties on all cars, not to mention their experienced and friendly staff in their full-service service department.
Ain't being chased around the lot by those annoying salespeople?
At Select Auto, you won't be bothered by any salespeople. You deal directly with the owners. Got bad credit? Not a problem. They offer financing for any credit, good or bad. Still not sold? Purchase any used car over $5,000 and get $200 in free gas at any Handy Mart. Hurry in. This deal only lasts through the month of July. What are you waiting for? Visit either of Select Auto's 2 convenient locations on 1st Avenue, downtown Cedar Rapids, or on 7th Avenue in Marion. Select Auto, a great way to buy a pre-owned car.
Everyone wants their print and copy needs to be done right and to be done on time. Copyworks will meet those expectations. Copyworks will see to it that your work is of the highest quality. They'll do that by consulting with you at your place of work. Copyworks stands behind their work for you. It will be done right and it will be done on time. You can count on Copyworks to come through for you. When it's important to you, Copyworks lets your work shine through.
Copyworks, Copyworks.
Well, the score is still tied up at 1 as we go into the top of the third inning. The Bees will send Brett Groves, Brandon Powell, and Chris Lubansky to the plate. Face Colonel hurler Rafael Rodriguez, who's used a lot of pitches here through the first 2 innings.
And I did check, Matt, with the Burlington broadcaster, our good friend Randy Wayhofer. He said that Atenzio is featuring slower, and slowest on his changeup, that he is not throwing a knuckleball. A deep drive headed towards the Plaza, Papa John's Plaza, strike 1. To switch hitter batting left, Brett Groves, top of the third inning, tied at 1. Matt, you're a huge Cubs fan, and we'll do some research after this top of the third, but the last 3 Cubs I remember twirling no-hitters were Cardwell, Holtzman, and Bert Hooten. And Eric Milton, through 8 innings, is no-hitting the Cubs in Philadelphia. Was that your report?
Yeah. Well, John, I know exactly where to find that information. So, yeah, we'll take care of that in between the top and bottom of the third.
A strike call. The no-hitter I remember best was Kenny Holtzman's when he jumped into Ron Santos' arms. An 0-2 pitch in the dirt, and Tommy Duenas saved the plate umpire's shins. Even though you wear shin guards with steel-toed shoes and a big plastic protector over the top of your feet, the umpires take a beating when that catcher doesn't protect him on those pitches in the dirt. Groves tapped out to the mound in the first. Ball 2 is in the dirt, and it's 2-2 to Brett Groves.
Of course, it never hurts to ingratiate yourself with the ump, John.
That's exactly right. Those two people have to work together an entire game, and they have to take care of each other. Rafael Rodriguez delivers, and a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Tommy Duenas tags Brett Groves for the first out of the third inning in a 1-1 game. We'll be with you tomorrow evening from Community Field in Burlington at 6:40, 7 o'clock first pitch. Eric Hearn is a big Cub fan, and Eric is sitting in his premier seats next to the Colonel dugout, and I'm sure Eric remembers the names Don Cardwell and Kenny Holtzman and Bert Hooten. I think those three guys were Cubs that threw no-hitters. I'm fairly sure I'm missing a couple of prominent guys that have done it since 1960. Cardwell and Holtzman and Hooten are the three I remember. Ball 1 in the dirt to Brandon Powell. Now a pitch in the dirt skips to the backstop for ball 2.
We're seeing a lot of pitches hit the dirt, John. That's about, 5 out of the last 7 throws?
Yes, and better to miss low than high, but you're right. You can't keep throwing them in the dirt either. Rafael Rodriguez started 26 games as a Colonel last year and was terrific. He won 10 and lost 11. His changeup sails high, and it's 3-0 now to Brandon Powell, who doubled down the left field line and scored an unearned run in Burlington's first inning. We're tied at 1 in the top of the third inning. Strike 1. Powell taking all the way. Brandon, a .229 batter, a couple of homers, 17 driven in. The 3-1 offering. Inside, and Rafael Rodriguez has walked his second batter, and the go-ahead runs at first. Now the heart of the order coming up for the Bees. Chris Lubansky grounded out sharply to second in the first inning.
Big Cole Hilt on deck. He reached on an error from Billy Boyer, which also scored Brandon Powell in the top of the first.
And then the Kernels came back with 3 straight hits off Burlington starter Greg Atencio to tie it in the bottom of the first. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, but since giving off those 3 hits, he has settled down and is throwing very well.
Fanning 4 and retiring 6 straight. Runner not going, and Lubansky grounds 1 to first. Backhanded by Lopez. Steps on first. Throws to second. Not in time, but that was snazzy work at first base by Baltazar Lopez, Matt, because Lubansky pulled it hard on the ground. I thought Lopez had a chance to turn a very difficult 1-6 double play. But he got the 3-6 double play. He got the sure out at first. Brandon Powell was safe at second. Remember that shortstop Brandon Wood has to tag the runner, and he did, but Brandon Powell beats the throw by Lopez. Now Cole Hilt will try to put Burlington ahead. Rafi misses low and away with a slider, ball 1.
Now, John, if I may ask a question, that wasn't a force-out play that Lopez threw to Wood.
That's right. Wood has to tag that run.
Because Lopez tagged first base first, that wasn't a force at second.
That's exactly right.
So that was a difficult play, as you said.
Cole Hilt pounds one foul, and it skips halfway up the backstop. The new Veterans Memorial Stadium is showing its pride here this afternoon. It's such a beautiful day and a good crowd on hand for center stage's Christmas in July. Cole Hilt is frozen on a good changeup from Rafael Rodriguez. Strike 2 to Cole Hilt. And if there ever was a guy who looked like a modern-day Charles Atlas, this is him. He has one of those triangular-shaped upper bodies. A nubber up the first baseline, and it's fielded behind the bag by Baltazar Lopez. who beats Cole Hilt to the bag and ends the inning. Cole Hilt was fooled, and he rolled one softly past first. Baltazar Lopez has been busy today. That's Baltazar's third unassisted putout. In the second inning, no runs for Burlington, or in the third inning, no runs for Burlington. No hits, a walk. There were no Kernel errors. And the Bees leave one man on, their third stranded of the afternoon. Matt's going to work on seeing who has thrown no-hitters for the Cubs in the last 4 decades. We go to the bottom of the third inning, and it's the Kernels and Bees tied at 1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Hey, man, what's up? Just getting ready to kick your butt. Right. And mess up your hair? You just wish you could look this good. Boo! Nothing but that. Hey, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to make my hair look as good as yours. I mean, who has time to schedule an appointment, let alone show up for it? Not me. I just go to Cost Cutters. I can get in whenever it's convenient for me. Nice shot. Yeah. So you're telling me you just walk into Cost Cutters and come out looking good? Well, for some of us, that comes naturally. But Cost Cutters makes it easier. They can do anything you want. A cool cut, even some color, and get some of that styling gel stuff to keep you looking good. Like me. Oh, so that's why your hair never moves. Oh, you're funny. Cost Cutters. Thanks, man. This will save me some time. Great. Then you'll have time to work on your game. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Are you a busy guy? Save yourself time and walk into one of our area's 12 Cost Cutters whenever it's convenient for you. Then relax, because Cost Cutters will make things easy and affordable for you.
Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
Dick Ramsey is the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Skogman Realty. That means when you're marketing your home for sale or searching for the ideal home to buy, Dick Ramsey's home team will get you the results you deserve. Dick Ramsey's home team has the best deal going. Buy one of their homes, and Ramsey will buy yours. That's the winning edge Dick Ramsey's home team will deliver to you. Dick Ramsey, the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Skogman Realty.
Kernels come to bat with the top of the order in the bottom of the third, tied with the Bees at 1, and with Eric Milton is working on a no-hitter against the Cubs in Philadelphia this afternoon. We were curious to... Here's a bunt foul off to the left by Quan Cosby, strike one. We were curious as to what Cubs have pitched no-hitters, and Matt, for not being a Cub fan, we did all right. You're a Cub fan, I'm not, but there is one man we need to add to the list besides Cardwell, Hooten, and Holtzman.
Yes, John, the most recent no-hitter thrown by a Cub hurler, September 2nd, 1972, Milt Pappas no-hit the San Diego Padres. 8-0 was the final. Pappas missed a perfect game, just barely, when he walked Larry Stahl on a 3-2 pitch with 2 out in the 9th.
And he still blames the plate umpire for that. I'll never forget it. Strike 2 to Quan at the knees. Quan's in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He singled and scored to tie the game at 1 in the first inning. Greg Atenzio, the B7 game winner, a right-hander, has retired 6 straight Kernels after giving up 3 consecutive hits and a run in the first inning. A curve, and that one slapped to third. It should be a base hit for Quan. It is. Greg Atenzio got to it near the line and barehanded it, then made a very wise choice and decided to take a bite out of it. It's an infield single for Quan Cosby. Quan dribbled it up the third base side for his second hit of the afternoon. And let's see if the Kernels use the same weapon that they employed so effectively in the bottom of the first inning when Matt Pauley on a hit and run singled Quan to third.
Quan showing his speed to get on base there.
Cosby leads away. I remember back in the early 90s, Jim Bullinger of the Cubs had a no-hitter through 7 innings, but that dissipated. There's a lot of guys that have had no-hitters through 7 innings.
John, the last time the Cubs were no-hit, September 9th, 1965, at L.A. by Sandy Koufax.
In a classic game that former Cedar Rapids Brave Bob Hendley pitched a one-hitter for the Cubs and lost to Koufax. In fact, the whole book, Matt, I'm glad you brought that to our listeners' attention. A whole book has been written about that very game in which former Cedar Rapids Brave lefty Bob Hendley, then a Cub, pitched a one-hitter against Sandy Koufax in 1965 at Dodger Stadium and lost 1-0.
That was actually a perfect game by Koufax, too, John.
Yes. There goes Quan. A pitch is strike to Pauly. The throw to second. Not in time. Quan Cosby has his second stolen base in this series. The throw by Kevin Reinking was late in the dirt and smothered down at second by Mike Gaffney. And boy, if Quan can start doing that on a more regular basis, look out. He'll be some kind of threat to rattle defenses. Pauly took a strike at the knees, and Quan is in scoring position. The Kernels have a chance to vault ahead in this game with nobody out in the third inning. Pauly takes outside a fastball.
Cosby's going to go ahead and take about a 12 to 14-foot lead off second base.
He's wearing his batting gloves in his hands. Ooh, a strike on the outside corner, and I could read Matt Pauly's mind. If Matt was trying to get a pitch on the inner half to pull to the right side of the B infield to try to get Quan to third, that pitch was well placed by Atenzio on the outside corner, and Matt took it for strike two. Pauly wearing a pair of black stripes underneath his eyes, that eye black. He's wearing two white batting gloves. Left-handed hitter. A changeup in the dirt. Quan may score. The catcher can't find it. Quan rounds third and holds on there as finally Kevin Reinking found that. Reinking spun around and had no idea where that ball was.
I wonder if he thought it went to the dugout because he was looking in the direction of the ball, John. He
just couldn't see it.
Right.
That's when the pitcher or third or first baseman have to give you direction or the dugout. The Kernels, of course, were mum as the ball actually went to the Kernels side of home plate, behind home plate. And now the Kernels have the go-ahead run at third with nobody out and a 3-2 count to Matt Pauly. Atenzio sets, delivers. And a high pop foul. You'll hear it hit. There you go, the grandstand roof.
Right above our heads.
Yes, sirree. Yeah, Matt, you probably haven't had a chance yet, but I'm sure your folks take the Sunday Gazette, a very interesting article on the front page at the bottom about allegiances in eastern Iowa. Oh, a changeup, a swing and a miss by Pauly. It fluttered in at 69 miles an hour. Greg Atenzio has gotten a big first out here in the third inning with a changeup and a swing and a miss by Pauly. Now it'll be up to Brandon Wood with the B infield in. I don't think we're going to spoil the article if we basically tell the headline, which is the Cubs, Packers, and Bulls are the favorite major sport teams of eastern Iowa fans. The only one that surprised me were the Packers. I thought there were more Bear and Ram and Chief fans here, but Packers won out.
Boy, Ryan King's really getting a workout here today. He's been all over behind home plate, trying to keep Atenzio under control.
That changeup from Atenzio has been unhittable so far. Brandon Wood took the pitch in the dirt for ball one, infield in. And a high pop foul, and this one will be beyond the reach of Kevin Reinking. It's 8 rows up into the premier seats behind the Colonel on-deck circle where Baltazar Lopez waits. 1-1 our score in the bottom of the third inning. Brandon Wood singled home the Colonel sole run of this game to tie it at 1 in the first inning. Infield in for the Bees for the play at the plate. Cosby the go-ahead run at third with only one away. A deep drive to left, way back at the wall. Graham on the warning track looks up, and he cannot get it. It's high off the top of the padded wall of the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Wood is safely into third with his 5th triple of the year.
And John, you're exactly right. Brian Graham was trying to shade his eyes, pick that ball up, but it ricocheted right off that 16-foot high wall right in front of the Randy Keel Hopkins Picnic Pavilion. And boy, the wall acted almost like a mini green monster right there.
It really did. Graham had to chase that thing down. It ricocheted high off the 16-foot high wall. And as Brian Graham finally lassoed it in, Brandon Wood beat his throw by a shade at third with his 5th triple of the year. It's 2-1 Kernels on the high deep drive. Graham gave it a great effort leaping at the wall. Now Lopez takes strike one. Ooh, a change-up miss for ball one. The Kernels have Brandon Wood at third with only one out, trying to add to their 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Infield in, Lopez, a left-handed batter, drills one fair into the right field corner. This will be at least a double. Brandon Wood is home to make it 3-1. Balthazar is trying for 3. He is going to make it with an RBI triple.
John, I'm wondering if the Kernel batters are starting to figure out that slower and slowest changeup that Atencio's throwing, because once they figure that out, you're going to see a lot of hits.
That may be exactly what's happened, Matt.
They've got his timing down.
And remember, we said if they could adjust their second time at the plate, and so far, so good. That's the first time the Kernels have hit back-to-back triples this season. Wood and Lopez, and it's 3-1 Kernels. Balthazar ripped one that was just inside the right field foul line, and it took Jeff Berry forever to dig it out of the right field corner. He may have stopped for a cup of coffee. He disappeared behind the plaza section, and the infield in for the third time in this inning. Michael Collins. A wild pitch! Here comes Lopez. Throw home. Save! Atencio argues with plate umpire Bobby Price. Atencio covered the plate, and he thought he tagged Lopez before Balthazar skidded feet first across the plate to make it 4-1 Kernels. Matt, it was a very close play at the plate.
Well, the tie goes to the runner, John. I think that's what happened here.
Let's see if they show it on the Rockwell Collins game link.
I don't think they're going to, but
I'm a little bit surprised that Jim Gabella, the skipper of the Bees, hasn't come out to stand up for his pitcher, Greg Atencio. It was very, very close as Kevin Reinking, the catcher, got to that ball at the base of the backstop. Lopez came dashing home, and it's a good thing that Balthazar slid. Otherwise, he'd have been out. Here's a drive into right center, and it's going to be caught. Michael Collins lashes one that was caught by Jeff Berry. 2 gone here in the Kernel third inning.
Right fielder, Blake Balcom.
Now with the bases empty and 2 out, and the Kernels up 4-1, Blake Balcom is at the plate. The Kernels have broken through for 3 off Greg Atencio, who had retired 6 in a row before Quan Cosby reached on a little old infield single to open up this third inning. Strike one is into Blake Balcom. Blake fouled out to the catcher his first time up. Swing and a miss, a hard cut on a fastball. A highlight of this inning, a pair of RBI triples by Brandon Wood and Balthazar Lopez. Strike 3 called, a fastball, and Atencio has now fanned 6 Kernels in just 3 innings. The Kernels send 6 men to the plate in the bottom of the third and strike for 3 runs on 3 hits, a stolen base, 2 wild pitches, no BRs, nobody left by the Kernels. And after 3, 4-1 Kernels. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Kernels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurants have something new for you to cheer about this season. A Taco Bell 10 spot. When the Kernels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco. Limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Kernels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by plating 10 or more runs in any game, you get up to 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into Yellow Book. The other book.
When it comes to making their buying decisions, people today let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with money-saving coupons, restaurant menus, and vital community info. And with more ads than ever before, it has everything you need right at your fingertips. It's easy to spot. Just reach for the yellow directory with the map on the cover and join the smart shoppers who choose Yellow Book, not the other book. Put your business in Yellow Book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Let your fingers walk into Yellow Book. The other book.
Through 3 innings, it's 3-1 in favor of the Kernels. The Kernels getting back-to-back run-scoring triples by Brandon Wood and Baltazar Lopez in the bottom of the third on Vinton Day here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. And we're pleased to welcome Dwayne Randall. Dwayne is the Director of Parks and Recreation in Vinton, and Kila Ka'aihue stands in to open up the fourth. Ball one low. Dwayne, welcome, and what a great community Vinton is. What, about 20 minutes from here? I'm sorry, Dwayne, about a half hour.
Yeah, and so, it's great to come down to the ballpark. We love coming down here. It's a great stadium, and, we got a perfect day out here. We brought about 130, 140 people today.
Fantastic. For your first community day, Dwayne, that's sensational.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It's great they all got to get involved, a lot of them, with the pregame activities, and so, it's been a super day already.
Well, great to hear that, and I'll tell you, Vinton, whenever you say Vinton, there's a slash, and then you hear Shellsburg, and you two communities, unlike some that kind of have a rivalry, you two communities seem to get along well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're in our school district, of course, and plus we have a few other little towns there too, Brandon and Garrison and Mount Auburn, and so it's a great school district, and the communities do get along well, and that makes for a lot of fun in our community. So.
Dwayne is at ball 3 in the dirt, a full count to Kila Ka'aihue, who homered here last night. It's 4-1 Kernels, top of the fourth. Dwayne Randall is from the Vinton, or he's the Director of Parks and Recreation in Vinton, and it's their special day here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Swing and a miss, a fastball tied Kila Ka'aihue up in knots, and he really handcuffed him. Rafael Rodriguez on a 3-2 count whiffs Kila Ka'aihue for his third strikeout. Dwayne, when you're in Parks and Recreation, is it strictly then Vinton proper, or do a lot of those outlying communities participate in what you have to offer?
Well, we are city agency, but we do allow our school district wide to come in because we do use the school facilities for everything, so it's kind of a cooperative agreement.
Okay.
And, so that works out real well for us.
When people think Parks and Recreation, they think usually of a couple of things. One is outdoor activities, and the other is when it's cold or winter time.
Yeah, and we're real fortunate in Vinton. We have a great department that is supported so well, and that's why it's so nice. But we have a Vinton Recreation Center that's no membership cost to the people that come use it for free. And we also have another facility, a skate and activity center, which is a roller rink. And we just recently added on a 9-hole miniature golf course there.
Oh, boy. Now, that sounds like fun. A 3-pitch strikeout of Kevin Reinking, and the 0-2 pitch in the dirt, and heaving it down to first to get Reinking is catcher Tommy Duenas. Reinking has struck out twice now against Colonel right-hander Rafael Rodriguez, who's doing a good job protecting a 3-run lead his teammates gave him in the bottom of the third inning. Dwayne, as far as that recreation center, isn't it marvelous that can be supported by the community through probably grants and tax dollars, and that there's no hefty fee? At a lot of places you have to pay $40 or $50 a month now to use.
Right, correct. And that's what's great, because kids can come in there and they can play basketball, they can work out, they can play racquetball, and there's no membership fees and stuff, and not just kids, but adults too. And we're very fortunate that we're supported so well, because we can do a lot of things for free or very minimal cost. I guess our new miniature golf course is only $2 to play, and each hole is a different site in Iowa that's really been kind of keen, and it's been a good draw for us besides the local people, but people coming in to play it. So it's been really neat to have.
I want to hear a little more about that. Is rolling one foul past third is Mike Gaffney. He's in the hole, 0-2. Bobby Wilson is taken over behind the plate here in the fourth inning, to everyone's surprise, as Rafael Rodriguez has a chance to fan the side. He misses outside. Again, Bobby Wilson is taken over behind the plate. Perhaps Tommy Duenas has incurred some sort of injury or maybe feeling under the weather. We'll find out by tomorrow, I'm sure. But Bobby Wilson takes over catching here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Ooh, a check swing on a pitch in the dirt. The batter went around, and Rafael Rodriguez has struck out the side. Mike Gaffney went around, and that does it. Down in order on strikes go the Bees. Because that top of the fourth inning went by in a jiffy, we're going to hold on to Dwayne Randall, the Director of Parks and Recreation, and I'm eager to hear a little bit more about that miniature golf course in the Vinton Rec Center that has attracted people from all over. After 3.5 innings at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, it's the Kernels 4 and Burlington 1. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Log on to the brand new look of ESPNradio.com, which still has the live streaming audio, interviews that you missed, and merchandise for you to check out. But here's a toe-tapping ditty to remind you. Now that makes me want to visit ESPNradio.com.
Come enjoy Decorah and Winneshiek County and all there is to offer, from the natural beauty of our springs and rivers to a bustling downtown district with a variety of unique businesses. Whether you're here on business or pleasure, we do both. You choose the order. To see more about what we have to offer or for a free visitor's guide, visit our website or call 800-463-4692.
You can trust in us, Core Bank and Trust. Oh, yeah.
At Zimmerman's, we believe that the voice of the customer speaks the loudest. Let's hear what our customers have to say.
I've always had good luck at Zimmerman's. I've bought 5 vehicles here.
You buy a used vehicle, obviously you want it to hold up because you don't want to have problems with it. So we've always had really good luck here, so we just keep coming back.
On behalf of everyone at Zimmerman's, I want to thank you for your business.
Bobby Wilson is on deck. He'll bat for the first time in this game after Matt Brown pops one in the air to shallow right center. 3 Bs converge, and the man who should have taken charge does, Chris Lubanski. He looks a little bit teed off about having to come all the way into right center in front of Jeff Berry to catch Matt Brown's high fly ball. 1 out as Brown skies to right center. Bobby Wilson batting for the first time in this game. Bobby took over behind the plate in the fourth inning, and Dwayne Randall, the Director of Parks and Recreation in Vinton, it's their day to shine here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, is visiting with us. And boy, Dwayne, you've got my curiosity piqued now, because you said you have a new miniature golf course in the recreation building in Vinton that you can play the course for just $2, and it has an Iowa theme to it.
Yeah, that's right. Each hole is kind of a different site in Iowa, and the first one's like the Pella Tulip Festival. You got to have a windmill, of course, on a miniature golf course you hit through. And then some of the other features, there's a salute to the Iowa agriculture industry.
I think the corn stalk.
There's all different. There's a combine, corn stalks, and actually we have real corn and beans growing there, so it's kind of neat. We also do a salute to the 3 state universities. You hit one hole, you hit through Carver Hawkeye, the Unidome, and Hilton Coliseum.
A check swing and a roller to the left or to the right of the mound to the pitcher Atenzio's left. He picks it up and tosses out Bobby Wilson. Bobby cheated on a pitch in on his hand, rolls out to the pitcher. Now explain that tribute to the Hawkeyes, Panthers, and Cyclones one more time, Dwayne.
Yeah, it's actually a replica of each building. The replica of Carver Hawkeye, a replica of the Unidome and Hilton Coliseum that you hit right through the middle of the doors and everything. And we also have a hole that's a salute to the covered bridges of Madison County.
Sure.
And the final hole is actually it's a replica state capitol that was built, and everything was pretty much built locally, and it's really sharp.
Oh, Dwayne, that is terrific. Ball one is outside to Lopez, and now a change-up, a strike. Dwayne, shifting gears a little bit from the miniature golf course, what are the most popular recreation programs that you have going in Vinton?
Well, we have all the gamut of youth programs, the soccers and the baseballs and all that stuff. And same with the adults. We have all the adult programming and so on. Actually, what's been real popular is we have a brand new 300-foot water slide that was donated to us by Chapman's when they closed the doors, and we refurbished it and put that in at our pool.
I remember when Chapman's World of Fun closed, and so you got the best piece of apparatus.
Oh, it's been great. It's just a huge slide for the community pool, and the people just love it. Kids, adults, everybody, and so it's been a big hit this summer.
Oh, that's neat. A ground ball foul runs the count full to Baltazar Lopez. The scoreboard says 3-1, but I think it's a full count. I'll go with the scoreboard to 3-1 from Atenzio. Swing and a miss. I shouldn't have gone with the scoreboard. That was a 3-2 pitch, and down on strikes is Baltazar Lopez, and that will end the Colonel. Excuse me, that was Billy Boyer, not Baltazar Lopez. That was Billy Boyer who struck out to end the Colonel fourth inning. Well, before we let you go, Dwayne, and bring Marcy Horst on for the fifth inning, you have something in common with our general manager, Jack Rader.
Oh, yeah, we both have the same hometown. Actually, when I was a youth, we hung out at the Ball Diamond there, and, of course, Jack was around working then. That's when I got to know Jack and a couple buddies of mine that were bat boys. And so I hung out at the stadiums, and, I remember what used to be the Clinton Pilots and the Clinton Giants, and so always followed baseball, especially Midwest baseball. So, known Jack for a long time.
Dwayne Randall, thank you so much for putting together a successful inaugural Vinton Day at the ballpark, and continued success to you and the great community of Vinton.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Dwayne Randall, Director of Parks and Recreation, our guest, and he'll be followed by Marcy Horst from Vinton Unlimited. And no, that's not a clothing store. We'll have Marcy tell us all about it in the fifth inning. After 4, Kernels lead Burlington 4-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
As a parent, have you ever experienced the frustration of watching your child struggle at school because of poor study habits? Did your child's grades suffer last year because of poor organization? Do you wish your child would be more motivated at school to realize his or her true potential? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then EduCare Learning Center has a proven study skills program just for your child. EduCare Study Skills Program has helped hundreds of area students gain the study skill tools necessary to turn grades around. So if learning how to study needs to be your child's first lesson, this year give EduCare a call. Classes begin Monday, August 9th and Monday, August 16th, just in time for school this fall. Space is limited. Call EduCare Cedar Rapids today at 832-1965 and get this year started right. That's EduCare of Cedar Rapids, 832-1965. EduCare is fully accredited by the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools.
Step up to the plate this summer and nominate your favorite Cedar Rapids Colonel for the Rockwell Collins Fans Choice Award. Every time you catch a Kernels game, fill out a Fans Choice ballot to recognize the efforts of your favorite ball player. Then drop the ballot in the designated box at the souvenir stand. During the season's final homestand, Rockwell Collins will present the Fans Choice Trophy to the player with the most votes and make a donation to that player's favorite charity. Rockwell Collins and the Cedar Rapids Kernels, partners on and off the field.
Swinging at the first pitch of the top of the fifth inning and grounding it underneath the glove of Baltazar Lopez is Brian Graham. Graham reaches on an error, the second charge to the Kernels this afternoon. It was a tough hop, and the correct call made by the Kernel official scorer, E3. So a one-pitch, one-man-on development here in the fifth. The sun is shining brightly as a strike is called to Jeff Berry, who popped out to second his first time up. Rafael Rodriguez on the hill, and with us is Marcy Horst from Vinton Unlimited. And Marcy, I bet a lot of people who are unfamiliar, as I am and our listeners may be, about Vinton Unlimited think, what in the world is Vinton Unlimited? It's a catchy name. What is it?
Vinton Unlimited is a combination of our Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Group.
And it means the possibilities and opportunities are unlimited.
That's what we hope. That's right.
Pitch inside, and now a grounder foul pushed past third by the right-handed batter Berry. 4-1 Kernels, top of the fifth inning. Hey, I'm looking down below, and I see a person in a Vinton, it looked like a volleyball or basketball uniform, a gold top with black lettering. There she goes. Her name is Hanson. Marcy, do you know that lady?
I do. That's who I was sitting with, actually. That's Sherelle Hanson. She's been a softball coach this summer.
Okay, but she's wearing her uniform.
Yeah, she's here. She brought her kids, and a lot of the kids from her team came, too.
Oh, that's wonderful to have that kind of spirit, community spirit. Ball 2 in the dirt to Berry, blocked by Bobby Wilson. Bobby came on to replace Tommy Duenas in the top of the fourth inning. Rodriguez is set. Jeff Berry down on strikes, a slider. That was Rafael's best pitch last year when he started 26 games as a Colonel. Rafael Rodriguez has now fanned 5 Burlington Bees, and this is his first start as a Colonel since mid-April when he went down with an elbow injury. Well, Marcy Horst, I have to say that small town Iowa and eastern Iowa, it must be alive and well, because you told me an interesting story between innings, and that is that you and your husband left the capital, Des Moines, to come back to your roots.
That's right. I think, especially in Vinton, things are really thriving. We have a new downtown renovation project that happened a few years ago.
How's it going?
It's going really well. It's brought a lot of people, outside people, to the community. Our downtown is refurbished. It looks wonderful.
It's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a square or a main street?
It's a main street.
Okay. Now I want to tell you a story here in a moment. You can tell me if I should drive to Vinton based on this question. Ball 2, 3 outside, rather. Remember when you and I were little kids, they still had dime stores?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Franklin's, corner drug stores. They have one up in Monticello. It's next to J.P. Hathaway Clothing. And I drive all the way up there just to go to a dime store. Are there any dime stores as part of your Vinton downtown?
I'm afraid there are not dime stores in Vinton, but I had one where I grew up, too, in Strawberry Point, and served the fountain pop and everything. Yes.
You got it. Ball 4 as Rafael Rodriguez issues his third walk of the afternoon, and the Colonel Brain Trust will keep a sharp eye on the Colonel 19-year-old because this is his first start as a Colonel since mid-April, and nobody up in the Colonel bullpen, but the Bees now have runners at first and second with nobody out. How about either an antique store or a gift shop?
We have lots of gift shops and antique stores in town. There's Klingman Pharmacy, which has a wonderful selection of gifts.
That sounds like it's worth the drive.
Definitely. Cameron's Clothing services men, women, and young women. And then their sister store is Hinkle Creek Mercantile, and that has gifts and children's clothes and clothes for older ladies. So.
How about a bookstore?
Hinkle Creek Mercantile has a few books,
Good.
And LaGrange Pharmacy also has books.
Those sound like fun places.
Mm-hmm.
First and second, one away as the Bees bat in the top of the fifth. This is not Brandon Powell. This is Walter Sevilla taking strike 2 called. Walter Sevilla has come on to pinch hit. Let me confirm this. Yes, Walter Sevilla is pinch hitting for Brandon Powell. Sevilla, a right-handed batter, will take over at second in the bottom of the fifth inning. He's pinch hitting with 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the fifth, and he swings and misses at a changeup, strike 3. Walter Sevilla is down on strikes, batting for Brandon Powell, and there are 2 out here in the top of the fifth inning. Marcy Horst is with us from Vinton Unlimited, and Marcy, as far as one of the missions of our great Governor Vilsack, you can agree or disagree with him on political issues, but one thing we all want is we want young people like you and your husband to stay in Iowa, have opportunities in Iowa, raise their families in Iowa, and Governor Vilsack's done as much as he can to make the economic conditions right for that. What would your thoughts be on why young people should stay in Iowa?
I think number one reason is quality of life. It's just It can't compare in Iowa, I think. The quality of life for raising a family, it's definitely there. We have great schools in Iowa. I know in Vinton we have wonderful activities. Dwayne talked to you about the park and rec and everything that's going on there.
A ground ball to first. Baltazar Lopez underhands to Rodriguez covering to get Chris Lubanski and end the top of the fifth. No runs for the Bees. One no hits, one Kernel error, our second of the day. A walk. Burlington leaves the pair. They've stranded 5. Marcy, you're halfway into your answer. We're going to continue because I like, and I know our listeners like what they've heard so far. Marcy Horst on Vinton Day here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium will be with us for part of the bottom of the 5th inning, and then we'll turn her loose to enjoy the rest of the afternoon with all of her friends and business associates from the great community of Vinton. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Kernels on top of the Bees 4-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Unless you have a crystal ball that really works, nobody can foresee all the risks that might become realities. Most of us don't have a foolproof crystal ball, though. That's why it's sensible to consider the calamities that might occur to your car, home, business, or life, and insure yourself against the worst. See Phil Andrews, your Pekin insurance agent, about a well-planned insurance program for your individual needs. The future is uncertain. See your Pekin insurance agent, Phil Andrews, at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency.
Summertime means Kernels baseball, sunlight until 9 o'clock, watermelon and lemonade, taking the kids to the swimming pool, and a host of other leisurely pursuits. Comfort Solutions by Banks stands ready to ensure that your family stays cool when you're busy with all of your summer fun. Comfort Solutions by Banks are your indoor comfort specialists. With all of the fun activities that fill up your summer, it's comforting to know that the Comfort Solutions by Banks family can take care of your family. Comfort Solutions by Banks is proud to offer your family personal and caring service. If something goes unexpectedly wrong with your home's cooling system, you can count on Comfort Solutions by Banks to provide you with courteous and professional service under any circumstance. Enjoy your summer and let the family at Comfort Solutions by Banks take care of yours.
Sans Quan, tuck your shirt in. I was joking with our guest, Marcy Horst. When we wear our red jerseys, the Quan Cosby has no idea when it comes untucked, and it's untucked. And Quan is 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. 4-1 Kernels, bottom of the 5th, top of the order for the Kernels. Ground ball to second. The new second baseman, Walter Sevilla, on to first. Quan Cosby retired for the first time today as he grounds out to second. 4-1 Kernels, bottom of the 5th. Matt Moss will be joining us in the top of the 6th inning for our Springhouse Family Restaurant Baseball Trivia question. Marcy Horst from Vinton Unlimited is here, and Marcy was telling us about quality of life and great schools. And Marcy, I forgot the third characteristic that would keep people here in Iowa.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I can't remember either.
Go ahead, Marcy.
Well, one thing I definitely need to tell you about in Vinton when we did our downtown renovation was also that we reopened the Palace Theater, which had been closed for a number of years.
Here's a chopper to second on one hop. Matt Pauley is thrown out. Matt Pauley, 1 for 3 this afternoon, picked on the first pitch, and Atenzio got him. Now, that is a big feather in your cap, Marcy, because so many old downtown theaters have fallen the way of either the wrecking ball or become blights to a community. How recent was the renovation, and do they show current or dollar movies?
We actually have $2 first-run movies, and we're able to do that because we raised a lot of money and got grants. This is our 5-year anniversary, and most of our staff at the theater are volunteers.
At the Palace Theater?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on Main Street?
Yes, it is.
Does it have one of those nice marquees?
Yes, it does.
Oh, boy. Now
beautiful.
You've got me. I didn't tell Dwayne this because I didn't want him to feel like Schellsburg was playing second fiddle to Vinton. You guys have a great community, but my favorite getaway, and I may do it this Wednesday when we have an off day, I love going to Wildcat Golf Course. You get just far enough away from Cedar Rapids without a cell phone that you have no interruptions.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Our school district is the Vinton-Schellsburg School District, and Schellsburg is really an up-and-coming community also. They're really growing, and Wildcat Golf Course is part of that.
Here's a deep drive hooking foul onto the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion to run the count even to Brandon Wood. Brandon belted an RBI triple high off the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion his last time up, and he scored in the Kernel 3-run third inning. It's 4-1 Kernels, bottom of the fifth. Nobody on, 2 out. Atenzio to Wood, and a curve is just inside. Boy, this kid, Greg Atenzio, has really pitched well. He has fanned 6 Kernels, walked none. Rafael Rodriguez has spun a one-hitter in his first start since mid-April for the Kernels. Ball 4. Brandon Wood draws a walk. He reaches for the third straight time with that walk. Well, the Palace Theater, for $2, you get to see first-run movies.
That's exactly right. And in the summer, we have a summer theater camp for children, lasts for 6 months.
Oh, and have the stage.
I'm actually one of the... It's also, yes, you're right. We do live performance and movies there.
And what do you do, Marcy?
I'm one of the directors. Also, Sherelle Hansen, you mentioned her. She and I direct that summer theater camp in the summer.
What a blast.
We had 80 kids this summer. So.
I hope that was...
Everybody performed.
I hope the newspapers covers that.
Oh, yes, yes.
What a neat project to teach kids. And I could never, ever get up on stage, Marcy. You could march me across in front of 1 million people naked. I'd do that, but I would not act. I was scared of it. But you break that barrier, don't you?
I think it's very important to get them when they're young, and then they're not afraid.
That's right. Mm-hmm. A pitch fouled off to the left, and by the way, I would never suggest anybody wanting to see that happen, so at least you think I'm suggesting it. No. 1 ball, 1 strike to Baltazar Lopez. Do you have the kids how do you teach a kid how to be on stage?
We have a lot of high school directors that help us, student directors, and I tell them the only way you're going to teach these kids is if you get up there and show it. So I'm up on stage and I show them how to do it. So.
You know, that we had a great example yesterday. One of our interns had to do a skit with the Blues Brothers, and he just got up and did it.
Uh-huh.
And he did great. Lopez, fifth one in the air foul over the third base grandstand. Our time is winding down with Vinton Unlimited's Marcy Horst. She's told us all about the renovation in downtown and the renovation of the Palace Theater and all the great reasons for young folks to stay connected to their communities in eastern Iowa. A throw to first, and Brandon Wood returns standing up. The sun has disappeaed behind one of the big white clouds, and the Kernels are up by 3 in the bottom of the fifth inning, 4-1, having out-hit the Bees 6-1. We'll have a chance for you Kernel fans to earn a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse Family Restaurant come the top of the 6th inning. The runner goes, and a pitch hit to deep right, way back into right, way back in front of the warning track. Jeff Berry has it 380 feet away. Wood was running, and Lopez launched one to deep right that was caught on the edge of the track by Jeff Berry to end the 5th inning. No runs for the Kernels, no hits, a 2-out walk. There were no B errors. The Kernels strand a runner. We've now left 3. Well, Marcy, I'll tell you this. You sold me on Vinton in just an inning. I'll be over to Vinton to see all the marvelous attractions you just told us about.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Marcy Horst, congratulations on bringing Vinton back.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Marcy Horst from Vinton Unlimited, kind enough to take time out of her day, and she's headed back down to enjoy the rest of the afternoon with her friends and colleagues from Vinton. Matt Moss is coming aboard, and we'll have a chance for you to earn a $5 gift certificate from the Springhouse. After 5, 4-1 Kernels. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels would like to thank the legions of parents throughout the community who are encouraging and helping their children to read this summer. The time and attention you spend supporting your child's reading effort means the world to them. Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels thank you for making a true difference in the welfare of your children. From helping them pick out their books to initialing their bookmarks and bringing them to the stadium to get their reading rewards, from Toyota Financial Services, you're the best.
It's amazing how much things can change in a day, or how much they can change in one night. Get ready to try Day Fresh beer from Budweiser. It's beer bottled less than 24 hours ago, and our Day Fresh beer crew is bringing it to bars and nightclubs in select cities everywhere. So look for them, and your chance to try beer that's so fresh, it's making every other beer seem so, well, yesterday. Day Fresh Beer from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Who's your cool cooking man? Killers Grill, who's your patio? Your patio. Charbroiled sausage flipping man with the buns. Who's your patio? Your patio. He only cooks Clements, number one for taste and fun.
Econo Foods is the place to save on Clements Fine products this week. Shop Econo Foods for hot pricing on Clements.
We go to the top of the sixth inning. Great to have Dwayne Randall and Marcy Horst from Vinton, and we're ready for action. Swing and a miss by Cole Hilt. Can't believe it, Matt, but we'll be trying to award a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse Family Restaurant to our 53rd different Kernel fan. Ball one low and away.
That's right, John. And let's talk about Sunday home-cooked meals at the Springhouse Family Restaurant. Real fall-off-the-bone turkey, roast beef, pork loin. All meals served with sage dressing, a vegetable of your choice, mash or sweet potatoes, a special salad, fresh baked bread, and dessert, all for just the low price of $7.25.
I think I know where I'm going tonight. Ball two just missed high to the DH Cole Hilt, and now he pops one in the air to shallow left. Brandon Wood is circling his arm and calling, and it's a good thing he did because Matt Pauley misread it, and you're likely to do that with a big guy like Hilt at the plate. Pauley, the left fielder, broke back, but Brandon Wood reigns far out onto the grass in shallow left to bring it in. One out in the top of the sixth inning.
If you've been one of our previous 52 Springhouse Family Restaurant Baseball Trivia Challenge winners, feel free to play along at home, but don't call in. We got an opportunity to everyone to try to win one of these things. And so with that ground rule in place, John.
Ball one is high to Kila Ka'aihue. We can test your baseball knowledge this afternoon.
Today's question, who was the first pitcher to record 40 or more saves in 4 different years? That question again, who was the first pitcher to record 40 or more saves in 4 different years?
Strike one to Ka'aihue. Matt will have the phone number in a moment for you to dial for your chance to earn the $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse Family Restaurant.
896-7589 is the number, 896-7589. That question again, who was the first pitcher to record 40 or more saves in 4 different years? We got the phones ringing off the hook already.
So Matt's going to answer it. Kila Ka'aihue is even on the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the 6th, 4-1 Kernels. Swing and a miss. Rafael Rodriguez has now recorded 8 strikeouts for Rodriguez in just 5 2/3 innings. Boy, Rafael Rodriguez was 0-2 in 4 starts in Mesa with an ERA of over 6. But here against the Bees, he's only given up a run on 1 hit so far. Spanking one off the end of the bat foul off onto the Papa John's Plaza down the right field line is Kevin Reinking. He has fanned twice. The only B hit was an opposite field double by Brandon Powell back in the first. He's not in this game anymore. He was lifted for pinch hitter Walter Sevilla in the 5th, a pitch low, and that's ball 2 to Kevin Reinking.
Good news on the trivia front. We have a correct answer.
Ball 2 outside.
That question again, who was the first pitcher to record 40 or more saves in 4 different years? The correct answer was Dennis Eckersley. Congratulations to Michelle Gurman of Atkins, who called in with the correct answer. Michelle, you'll get that coveted $5 Springhouse Family Restaurant gift certificate.
A check swing, and the batter went around. Reinking, or maybe, I guess he didn't go around. The scoreboard says 2, there it is, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A very appropriate question today, John, because Dennis Eckersley, along with Paul Molitor, inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, and we'll give X 4 40-plus save seasons in a moment. Ooh, a slider. The Kernels were on their way to the first base dugout, but plate umpire Bobby Price ruled it ball 3, and he's getting some guff from the Kernel fans behind home plate.
1988, Eck had 45 saves. 1990, he had 48 saves. 91, he had 43. And in 1992, he had 51 saves, all with the Athletics.
Rafi into his line, the payoff pitch. Cracked high and deep into right center. This is way back, and neither Quan or Balcom will get there. They both make great efforts. Kevin Reinking, the catcher, will lumber. Oh, he stopped at second with a 2-out double, the first hit for the Bees since the first inning. Kevin Reinking crushed a 3-2 pitch from Rafael Rodriguez, launched it high and deep into right center. Quan and Balcom got it closer to it than I thought they would, but it is a double for Kevin Reinking.
Well, as a catcher, you don't expect him to have too much speed. I think otherwise that could have been a triple, John.
I thought so too, Matt. I'm glad he stopped at second because when it left the bat, I was thinking triple all the way. Here's Mike Gaffney, a walk and a strikeout. Slider, a strike called. Matt, it's not every night and day we get a woman to earn the $5 gift certificate from the Springhouse, so let's congratulate her again.
Michelle Gurman of Atkins, thanks for calling in with the correct answer. Dennis Eckersley was the first pitcher to record 40 or more saves with four different years.
A line drive through the box, and Kevin Reinking will score to make it a 4-2 game. Rafael Rodriguez reached up, and it was by his glove by about 2 inches. Mike Gaffney with a 2-out single into center, and the Kernels have David Austin warming up in the right field bullpen with 2 outs, 2 hits for the Bees, and that could be it for Rafael Rodriguez. We were fooled last night when Bobby Magallanes came out to the hill, thought there would be a pitching change, and I'm not sure Bobby's going to make a pitching change, even though David Austin is up on his feet in the Kernel bullpen.
And home plate umpire Dixon Sturman is going to go out and break up the confab out on the mound. John, I don't think he's going to get pulled. I think they're just discussing instead. Nope. Here comes David Austin.
And
Rafael Rodriguez will trot back after a pretty good outing.
Oh, listen to the hand he'll get. He's a favorite from last year, and he struck out 8 and gave up just 2 runs in 6 5 2/3. Listen to the hand for Rafael Rodriguez. Rafael Rodriguez is lifted, going 5 2/3 in his first start since late April. He has surrendered 2 runs to the Bees on only 3 hits. Rafi struck out 8, and he walked 3. He gives way to right-hander David Austin. And Matt will give you the season line on the Kernel right-hander. Taking over here in the 6th inning, David Austin.
David Austin has a record of 0 wins, 2 losses, an ERA of 4.75. Through 30 1/3 innings of work, he's allowed 36 hits, walked 10, and fanned 30. League batters are hitting .288 against him. This will be his 17th appearance of the year.
David last worked on this homestand Wednesday in a Kernel 10-0 loss to the Beloit Snappers. He pitched 2 innings, surrendering no runs on 2 hits. He struck out 3. David Austin takes over, and we still have a long way to go in this one. 4-2 Kernels in the top of the 6th inning. Matt will also have our Halo happenings as well as our Kernel of Wisdom as we go along. Brian Graham is 0 for 2. He reached on a Baltazar Lopez error to open up the 5th inning. That was his last at bat. He's batting here in the 6th inning. David Austin throws to first, and back safely is Mike Gaffney. 4-2 Kernels in the top of the 6th inning, rather. Austin is working from the stretch with the runner at first and 2 away. His first delivery is taken low by Brian Graham. Graham, a left-handed batter. Yes, this afternoon, Dennis Eckersley and Paul Mollett are being inducted in Cooperstown. A high, deep drive to center. Quan way back in front of the warning track. Quan has it. Brian Graham skies to deep center. He hit it well to end the B6th inning. 1 run for Burlington on 2 hits. There were no Kernel errors. Burlington leaves 1. They've now stranded 6. The Kernels come to bat in the home half of the 6th inning and hold a 4-2 lead over the Bees. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
Hey, have you heard? Cialis is here. Are you ready? Get to know Cialis. Don't miss another moment to talk to your doctor about prescription Cialis Tadalafil. Find out today if a free sample of Cialis is right for you. You can learn more about Cialis by visiting www.cialis.com or by calling 1-8774-CIALIS. Cialis, it's here. Are you ready?
Decorah Chevrolet Cadillac and Decorah Auto Center invite you to our town, Decorah. We're your Chevrolet Cadillac, Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury dealer in Northeast Iowa. We have over 400 new and used vehicles here at all times and specialize in the hard to find. From crew cab diesels to compact cars, we have them all in stock. If you're looking for a specific new or used vehicle, call one of our friendly sales staff today. Our service department is the best in the area. All of our technicians are A&Z and factory trained.
Come see us in our town, Decorah.
Getting in those last road miles for RAGBRAI or taking the family to a local bike trail? Either way, you'll find everything you need for every kind of bicycle riding at Decorah Bicycles. Value, selection, and experience, this is where the fun begins. Decorah Bicycles.
When your special day arrives, you can have that exceptional experience with Bridal Productions in Decorah. We feature all the latest designer gowns for brides, bridesmaids, mothers, flower girls, plus prom dresses and tuxedo rentals. Trust Bridal Productions to make your wedding dreams come true.
The Kernels leading the Bees 4-2. Michael Collins up to the plate. And the Kernels will also be sending Blake Balcom and Matt Brown as Greg Atencio's first pitch comes in, strike 1.
Michael Collins has struck out and lined to right, a right-handed hitter from Australia, and a curve is inside. Halo happenings, results from around the Anaheim Angel organization, and these are always fun to hear about.
In the big leagues yesterday, Anaheim at Safeco beat the Mariners 8-4. Former Colonel Benji Molina had 3 hits and scored a run in the win. In AAA, the Salt Lake City Stingers beat Portland 7-4. Former Colonel Dowsey McPherson was 2 for 4 in the game. He hit his 11th home run and drove in 2 runs as well. Salt Lake broke an 8-game losing streak with the victory.
Wow, Michael Collins just about almost dislocated his back as he swung at a changeup so hard that he about dug himself into the ground. Some changeup by Atencio on a 2-0 pitch. Strike 1 to Michael Collins, leading off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He wallops one foul into the suites above the Colonel first base dugout. How did you have already covered AAA, right, Matt?
Right. Salt Lake beat Portland 7-4. In AA, the Arkansas Travelers split a doubleheader with San Antonio. They lost the first game 8-4. They won the second one 5-1 in 8 innings.
Swinging a foul straight back by Collins keeps the count 2-2 to Michael.
Former Colonel Joe Saunders gave up 5 hits and 3 runs in his AA debut in the nightcap. Former Colonel Marcus Sullivan took the loss in the opener.
Collins wraps one to the left side. The third baseman shuffles a few feet to his left and on to first. Michael Collins is grounded to third. The Bees have a right-hander up in their bullpen, Alexis Encarnacion.
Continuing down to single A, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes defeated Lancaster 8-2. Former Colonel Eric Ibar was 4 of 6, scored 2 runs, and drove in 2. Former Colonel Steve Shell allowed 4 hits in 7 innings and struck out 11 in the victory. And in the Pioneer League, the Provo Angels beat Missoula 16-9. Former Colonel Sean Rodriguez was 2 for 5, scored 3 runs, hit his 4th home run, and also drove in 2 more. The Provo Angels had 19 hits in that 16-9 victory, John.
The 1-0 now to Blake Balcom is inside, and it struck him on the upper left arm. Blake is hit by a pitch. That's the 7th batter hit by Greg Atencio, and this is 20th start of the year.
That one seemed to barely graze Balcom, I thought, John, or did you get a better look at it than I did?
No, I think you're right, Matt. It didn't hurt him. Yeah, it did not hurt him, fortunately. The sun is trying to peek back in as Matt Brown, 0 for 2 today, will try to reach for the first time against the change-up artist, Greg Atencio.
Halo Happenings is a complete look at Saturday's results from around the Anaheim Angels organization.
Thank you, Matt. 1 on, 1 out for Matt Brown.
We'll have the Kernel of Wisdom coming up in the top of the 7th inning.
And it'll spotlight our 2 Hall of Fame inductees, Molitor and Eckersley. Matt, remember all the hoopla as the changeup is below the knees, ball 1 to Brown. Remember all the criticism that was directed at Pete Rose when he announced his book the very day that Eckersley and Molitor were elected to the Hall of Fame?
I do remember that.
Some people will never forgive Pete for that. Strike 1, a fastball at the knees to Matt Brown.
John, do we have any word on Tommy Duenas why he came out of the game?
The good news is I saw him coming out to warm up Rafael Rodriguez between innings, so my guess is that he perhaps just wasn't feeling well. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and Matt Brown is down in the count 1-2. Boy, you change speeds like this guy, and you're headed up the ladder in the Kansas City organization. Greg Atencio has had the Kernels miffed almost all afternoon. We're ahead 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, they had him figured out in that 3rd inning, picking up back-to-back triples, which resulted in 2 runs.
Hopefully Brownie can figure him out. A changeup in the dirt. Kevin Reinking, as Matt noted earlier, is getting a real workout, as Tommy Duenas also did with the number of pitches in the dirt. Balcom at first, 7 steals and 9 tries. The Kernels are tied for 5th in the league in stolen bases. A deep drive lashed into right center. Lubanski will not get it. Blake Balcom will score to make it 5-2 Kernels. Matt Brown is speeding towards 3rd. The relay throw is late, and Matt Brown has the 3rd Kernel triple of the game. It's 5-2 Kernels.
John, that wind is blowing in. The Kernels have still had no problems producing offense.
And here comes Jim Gabella. That will likely be all for Greg Atencio. Well, Matt, you're one of the more creative broadcast assistants we've had. And what would your headline read if you had to write a press release or a news story or a sports story headlining, let's say, we're not going to presume anything, but let's say the Kernels stay ahead in this game and win it 5-2 with 3 of the runs being driven in by triples.
Boy, you're putting me on the spot there, John. Let me think here.
You're good on the spot, though. I'd
probably just say Colonel Bats come alive, because we've been a bit anemic here at home in the second half, and you and I haven't seen a really good offensive performance in a while.
No, we haven't.
And boy, Atencio has a really good changeup, but once the Kernels got it figured out.
Well, they've knocked him out here. Greg goes 5 1/3, and Atencio has given up he's given up 5 runs in 5 1/3. On 7 hits, 3 of them run-scoring triples. Atencio struck out 7. Greg only walked 1, and he hit a batter. Alexis Encarnacion is coming up to bat. And, Matt, I think your headline would be a golden one to say Colonel Bats come alive, because we have not seen the offensive output on this homestand in the second half. Our record at home in the second half is 7-11. We're trying to beat Burlington for the 11th time in 14 games. And right-hander Alexis Encarnacion has come on in relief, replacing starter Greg Atenzio, who will not win his 8th game of the year here this afternoon.
Now we're working on the season line for Atenzio. Wow, 4 wild pitches thrown by him today, though, John.
Too many. One of them resulted in a run. Alexis Encarnacion is a right-hander, 21 years old, from the Dominican Republic. And Bobby Wilson's batting with the infield in. Bobby wraps one on the ground foul past third. Strike one. Bobby Wilson came in for Tommy Duenas behind the plate in the 4th inning.
The season line on Encarnacion, a record of 2-2, an ERA of 5.56. He's appeared in 19 games. No, I'm sorry. This is his 19th appearance. Through 43 2/3 innings of work, he's allowed 44 hits, walked 14, fanned 41, and league batting hitting .260 against him.
A line drive peppered into left center field for an RBI single by Bobby Wilson. Makes it 6-2 Kernels. Bobby Wilson steps into a 0-1 delivery from Alexis Encarnacion and rams it into left center. Matt Brown scores to make it 6-2, and that run is charged to the departed starter, Greg Atenzio. Alexis Encarnacion with the infield in has been touched for an RBI single. Again, the run is charged to the departed starter, Atenzio, and the line is final on him now. Here's Billy Boyer taking low in the dirt for a ball. The sun shining brightly on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. I looked down a little bit ago, and Bob Brooks was talking to his son, Robbie Brooks.
John, the final line that I have on Greg Atenzio, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 runs, 6 earned, 4 wild pitches, 1 hit batsman.
And I'm sure that's what the official score will send through the intercom system here as well, Matt. Thank you. That final line on Greg Atenzio. Billy Boyer took low, and now a throw to first. Bobby Wilson's back. Bobby Wilson, by the way, put the Kernels ahead last night with a 2-run single. Bobby Wilson now has 51 runs driven in. He's just 1 behind Brandon Wood and only 8 behind Matt Brown for the team lead. The Kernels have 3 men now with 50 or more RBIs. Squirting one foul towards the Colonel on deck circle is Quan Cosby. Quan tosses it to a youngster in the 4th row of the premier seats. A throw to first, and Wilson dives back safely. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what I'm going to do after this game. I'm going to head to one of my favorite parks and go for a long walk on a Sunday afternoon. A ground ball foul. This is one of those days that you just wish would last forever. Sunny, cool, low humidity,
nice breeze.
And the Kernels leading by 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Billy Boyer down on strikes on a changeup. That off-speed pitch has been a real buzzsaw for the B pitchers this afternoon. That's the 2nd out in the inning, and the batter's Quan Cosby. I'm sure we'll have a lot of finals in just a little bit on the State Farm Major League scoreboard as well. Quan Cosby is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. A changeup is a strike to Quan. I don't know if Burlington pitching coach Tom Bergmeyer, who's going to be our dugout interview guest either tomorrow night at Community Field or Tuesday night here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, maybe he had a session with his pitchers on the value of a changeup. Quan lifts a changeup straight towards the plate, above the plate, and exactly 3 feet in front of home plate in fair ground, it's caught by catcher Kevin Reinking. Quan Cosby is fouled out to the catcher. It was a fair ball to end the Kernels' 6th inning. 2 runs for the Kernels, and they knock out the starter Atenzio on 2 base hits. There were no Burlington errors, and the Kernels strand a runner, our 4th of the day. After 6, Kernels lead Burlington 6-2. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
The 152nd Great Jones County Fair and Food Fest is July 21st through 25th in Monticello. Get your tickets now for performances from the Beach Boys on Flex Sales Day, Thursday, July 22nd. Clint Black and Gretchen Wilson on Jones Regional Medical Center Day, Friday, July 23rd. Saturday, the fair is brought to you by the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Saturday night, it's the Grand Ole Opry American Roadshow with Vince Gill, Patty Loveless, Rebecca Lynn Howard, and the Del McCoury Band. And don't miss Chubby Checker and the Wildcats on the main stage Sunday, July 25th. Tickets on sale now. Buy yours online at GreatJonesCountyFair.com or call 465-3275.
I cannot face anyone but me. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me? Don't tell me wrong from right. I know just what I like. Yeah, call me crazy, I don't care. Come feel the joy all around each generation. They got their own kind of sound. I'm the shout it out. Let that joy of Pepsi.
Hey, corporate employees and union members too. Airport National 27-hole public golf course in Cedar Rapids has an unbelievable new corporate union season pass special for you. 2 people for $300, 4 people for $250, 10 people or more for only $200 each. Add a spouse for only $125 or just $50 for each child. Airport National Public Golf is now accepting new corporate, charity, and church golf outings and leagues starting as low as only $11 per person. Holy sliced, Batman. Please visit us just 4 miles east of the Eastern Iowa Airport today.
Final out of Burlington's 6th inning in relief of starter Rafael Rodriguez. Ball 1 is taken downstairs by Jeff Berry. The number 9 hitter is 0 for 2. A line shot into right is a leadoff single for Jeff Berry. Jeff Berry has singled into right off David Austin. And that for Burlington is their 4th hit of the day. We're approaching the top of the hour, and we want to remind you that you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And we'll have the Red Sox and Yankees for you here tonight on the Zone a little before 7. A good changeup drops in from Austin, a strike to Brett Grove.
Well, John, for our Springhouse Family Restaurant Baseball Trivia Challenge, we talked about Dennis Eckersley. Of course, that's a great tie-in with him and Paul Molitor being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
A pitch sliced foul onto the picnic area. It pops out of the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion down the left field line. 0-1 to Brett Grove.
That ceremony being held this afternoon, and our Kernel of Wisdom alludes to a bit of personal triumph, overcoming adversity that both of these Hall of Famers went through at one point in their life.
Yes, we're talking about Paul Molitor and
Dennis Eckersley. The Kernel of Wisdom, both Dennis Eckersley and Paul Molitor overcame substance abuse challenges throughout their career. In 1986 with the Cubs, Eckersley checked himself into the Edge Hill Newport Treatment Center in Rhode Island to address his heavy drinking problem.
And we've got a problem brewing on the diamond, Matt. I hate to interrupt you, but we have something wrong with the plate umpire. Did he lose a Well, now Jim Gabella's coming in to look at him. I'm surprised the trainer hasn't come out. There may have been some words between. The count is 0-2. Now the plate umpire is going out to the base umpire, and perhaps they think that's strike 3. Have they called Brett Groves out? Well, we're going to send Sonia Massey down press row and find out what this controversy is. I don't know why. I thought it was 2 strikes on the batter. The last pitch was fouled down the third base line. And, Matt, we're going to pick it up from the top on our Kernel of Wisdom. Now Eric Bennett is coming out of the Kernel dugout, and I don't know what this is all about. Jim Gabella, the B skipper, and now the umpires are meeting between the mound and the plate, and I don't know if they lost track of the count. I don't know if an illegal bat was used by the batter. Jim Gabella, now Bobby Magallanes is joining Jim Gabella out on the diamond, and I have no idea what this controversy is, Matt. And I don't expect you or I would, because we were sailing right along. Any guesses, Matt, what this could be about?
Well, it's obviously got to be about the pitch count. They sent the batter. They sent Brett Groves. They sent him back to the dugout, didn't they?
But his last pitch was a foul ball. And so that can't be strike three on a foul ball. I'm glad we've got Sonia Massey down on press row, because I'm sure Mike Kuhlbeck, the Kernel Director of Marketing and Public Relations, knows what has happened. Apparently an out has been called on Brett Groves, and I don't know why. Everybody's smiling about it now. I did not hear the explanation, Matt. Did you?
Well, Sonia said they were trying to figure out the pitch count, but that still doesn't explain why Groves was out if his last pitch was...
Strike three can't be a foul ball, but it was. That's an unusual ruling, to have a foul ball called strike three.
Well, we'll mark it as a K here on my score sheet.
Ball one high to Walter Sevilla. He came on to pinch hit for Brandon Powell. But that's the explanation, that the umpires lost count of the ball strike count, and I guess the foul ball was just an extra swing for Brett. There goes the runner. A curve, a swing, and a miss. Bobby Wilson guns to second, not in time. A stolen base for Jeff Berry, his 14th of the year.
Wise call by the B Brain Trust after that little delay. Go ahead and try to catch the Kernel battery off guard there after about a 2-minute intermission there, while the umps and managers try to sort out that situation with Brett Groves at bat.
An announcement was made by our official scorer, but I did not understand it. I don't think it had anything to do with the strikeout of Brett Groves. The 1-1 from David Austin. A curve, bounce back to the hill. David looks the runner back to second and then tosses to first to get Walter Sevilla for the second out of the inning. Now, Matt, I'm sorry I preempted you on that strange argument over the status of Brett Groves, but our Kernel of Wisdom is focusing on adversity conquered by Molitor and Eckersley.
Right, John. Both Molitor and Eckersley overcame substance abuse problems during their career. I said in '86, while Eckersley was with the Cubs, he checked himself into the Edge Hill Newport Treatment Center in Rhode Island to address his heavy drinking. Molitor likewise overcame a cocaine addiction while he was playing with the Brewers in the mid-1980s. And John, where did you find this information at?
I just knew it from being a fan in the mid-'80s. The 80s were the party years, and that's the years when people, for some unbeknownst reason, thought using drugs, alcohol included, was the way to go. And I have to give credit to both. Eckersley sought help, got help. Molitor got help, and both of them were able to overcome those pitfalls of social pressure, and they got off alcohol and cocaine.
I knew about Eckersley, but I didn't know the Molitor.
A high drive into left center. Camping underneath it is Matt Pauley, and Chris Lubanski is blown out to left to end the B seventh inning. No runs, a leadoff single for Burlington by their number 9 hitter, who stole second. There were no Kernel errors. The Bees leave 1. They've stranded 7. And it's 7th inning stretch. Christmas in July. Brought to us by Center Stage. And it's Vinton Day here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. We go to the home half of the 7th. Kernels lead the Bees 6-2. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
The 152nd Great Jones County Fair and Food Fest is July 21st through 25th in Monticello. Get your tickets now for performances from the Beach Boys on Flex Sales Day, Thursday, July 22nd. Clint Black and Gretchen Wilson on Jones Regional Medical Center Day, Friday, July 23rd. Saturday, the fair is brought to you by the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Saturday night, it's the Grand Ole Opry American Roadshow with Vince Gill, Patty Loveless, Rebecca Lynn Howard, and the Del McCoury Band. And don't miss Chubby Checker and the Wildcats on the main stage Sunday, July 25th. Tickets on sale now. Buy yours online at GreatJonesCountyFair.com or call 465-3275.
Benjamin Franklin once said,
"Glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked, but never well mended."
At Benjamin Franklin, the Punctual Plumber, we believe you deserve respect for favoring us with your business. We'll never forget that. That's why we do our best to give you service so special you'll want to tell your friends about it. We believe that honesty is the best policy. Benjamin Franklin said so.
You know it.
Our plumber will arrive at your house fully uniformed. You never have to wonder or fear who's at your door, because only the few, the best, and the talented can wear the Benjamin Franklin uniform. Our simple pricing system takes the panic out of calling a plumber. We give you the options first, and you grant approval before we do the work. There are never any surprises.
Splendid.
When we say we'll be there, or we'll give you a Benjamin Franklin, a $100 bill.
Benjamin Franklin, the punctual plumber.
7th inning, 6-2 Kernels, State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, Lanny Peterson, and Al Shetler bring us this complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. And, Matt, I bet some of those games in the Eastern Time Zone are close to being final.
Yeah, we've got a few finals locked in. We'll start things off in the NL. The Expos beat the Marlins 6-4 at Olympic Stadium. At Shea Stadium, the Braves up 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth over the Mets. The Phillies beat the Cubs 3-2 at Citizens Bank Park. Eric Milton's no-hitter was spoiled, but the Cubs still unable to come back and pick up a loss. At PNC Park, the Pirates up 6-5 over the Reds in the bottom of the eighth at Minute Maid Park. The Astros working on a shutout of the Brewers, 6-0 to score in the bottom of the seventh inning. And at Busch, John, your Cardinals up 5-0 over the Giants in the bottom of the sixth.
Matt Pauley is ahead in the count, 2-1 strike against Alexis Encarnacion, and Pauley lifts one foul up onto the third base grandstand roof. 2-2 to Matt Pauley.
San Diego, the Padres at LA, they're just getting underway, and the Rockies and the Diamondbacks getting underway at Banquet Ballpark. In the AL at Jacobs Field, the Tribe up 5-1 over the Royals. They beat the Royals 5-1, so the B parent club fell today at the hands of the Indians.
Taking low for ball 3 is Matt Pauley.
At the Sky Dome, the Blue Jays flew past the Devil Rays again. 5-3 was the final.
The payoff pitch to the Colonel left fielder, who singled to help the Colonel score in the first inning. Look out, a rocket foul batted off the Dick Ramsey sign down the right field line. Matt Pauley was way out in front on that 3-2 pitch from the B right-hander.
Continuing down, the Twins up big over the Orioles, 8-4 at Camden Yards in the top of the eighth inning. The Tigers and the White Sox knotted up at 1 in Chicago in the top of the fourth, and in Oaktown, the Rangers and the A's scoreless in the top of the first.
Another 3-2 delivery, and strike 3 called to Matt Pauley as Alexis Encarnacion gets him on a pitch at the knees on the outside edge, a good fastball.
Rounding out the AL, the Angels and Mariners scoreless in Seattle. And tonight on the Zone, you can listen to the third and final game of what turned into a pretty dramatic series between the Yankees and the Red Sox, John. 7:05 is the start time.
Brandon Wood has had a big day. An RBI single in the first tied the game at 1. A run-scoring triple and a run scored in the Colonel big 3-run third made it 4-2 and 5-2 respectively. Or check that, 3-2 and 4-2 respectively. It's now 6-2, and a curve is low to Brandon. Sun shining brightly here in the bottom of the seventh inning. 6-2 Kernels. Brandon laces one into straightaway center. Chris Lubanski is going back, and he's waiting in front of the warning track to take it down. Brandon Wood hoisted one into center for the second out of the Colonel's seventh inning. 2 away. Bases empty for Baltazar Lopez. He tripled in a run and scored in the Colonel's 3-run third inning. The Colonels have used 3 RBI triples to help them build a 6-2 lead here in the seventh inning.
And don't forget, Lopez scored on that wild pitch from Greg Atencio.
He did that to make it 4-1 back in the third inning. A let-up is in there from Alexis Encarnacion, the Dominican right-hander for Burlington. Now ball 1 is inside the left-handed hitting Mexican Baltazar Lopez. A high fly ball into shallow right. Jeff Berry cannot find it. He still can't find it. The second baseman bails him out. Walter Sevilla went a good 120 feet into shallow right field to make the grab on Baltazar Lopez fly ball to right. It was the second baseman who caught it. For just the second time today, the Kernels go in order, and they do it in the home half of the seventh. We head to the eighth. Kernels 6, Burlington 2. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
On the outside, everything looks fine. But on the inside, an unseen enemy is plotting the destruction of your home. Termites. Termites can be deadly to your home unless you fight back with certified pest and termite control. Yes, termites have made their way to Iowa, and they can cause extensive damage to your home before you even know they're there. It takes a trained professional to look in all the right places. Don't risk your home. Call the experienced, licensed, and insured experts at Certified Pest and Termite Control. 1 in 5 homes inspected have shown signs of termites. Certified offers guaranteed inspections and a 10% discount for seniors. Locally owned and operated, Certified carries a full supply for the do-it-yourselfers. Look for the giant ant at 1141 16th Avenue Southwest. Don't take a chance. Call Certified Pest and Termite Control today.
Honey, do I have to go to your family reunion? I mean, how many times can Aunt Agatha tell me about skydiving with monkeys?
It'll be different this time.
Cousin Bob won't talk about his nose hair?
North Country Steakhouse will be catering.
No way.
I can smell the steaks on the grill already. I wonder what kind of potatoes they'll have, baked, fried, or their famous garlic mash.
Aunt Agatha used to skydive with monkeys. Who knew?
North Country Steakhouse. Call 378-3970 to have us cater your next event, because good food conquers all.
Can I come, please?
Uncle Joe is making the Statue of Liberty out of cereal boxes.
Awesome, let's go.
Big Cole Hilt, the cleanup batter, DH, is 0 for 3 this afternoon. And a breaking pitch from David Austin is low for ball 1. 6-2 Kernels, top of the 8th inning. A right-hander is on his feet in the B bullpen, and that's Robbie McClellan. A strike to Cole Hilt, 1-1.
Hilt did reach in the first on an error by Billy Boyer.
Yes, it produced the B unearned run. You're right, Matt. Smacking one high up into the screen for strike 2 is Cole Hilt. Matt, tomorrow evening, you and a very good friend of ours, Tom Kelly, along with Kernel General Manager Jack Rader, are going to head on down 218 and then Highway 34 to Burlington, and I think you'll really be impressed with the community, which is just 35,000 folks. They'll have a big crowd tomorrow night. They have their $1 special on food, and it's a very, very quaint ballpark.
Yeah, Tom was describing it to me before the game. It'll be fun to check it out.
A change-up and a swing and a miss. Cole Hilt is fanned, and that is, by my count, the 10th strikeout for Kernel pitchers. David Austin second.
And John, I count that as Cole Hilt's 4th strikeout in this series. So the Kernel hurlers having their way with the big man.
Boy, those big guys, it's such a...
They offer those big strike zones.
That's right. Here's another big guy, Kila Ka'aihue. Nothing for 3. He's fanned his last 2 times up. Aaron Pullen headed down to the Kernel right field bullpen. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and the Hawaiian left-handed batter is even on the count, 1-1. Tommy Duenas is now trotting down to the Kernel bullpen, so he's fine. Perhaps a bit under the weather. He was lifted from this game in the 4th inning, but I know his family listens in to every game faithfully down in Miami, and I want to assure the Castrovinos that Tommy Duenas is just fine. And so is the attendance, Matt.
2,368 out here on this lovely Sunday afternoon, as Kila Ka'aihue will be issued a free pass to first base.
First walk by David Austin. The third, check that, the 4th walk issued by Kernel pitching. If you're just joining us, we're in the top of the 8th inning. The Kernels are trying to turn back the Bees for the 11th time in 14 games. Have out-hit Burlington 8-4 and lead it 6-2 despite making 2 errors. Kevin Reinking drilled a double into deep right center and scored in the 6th inning to cut the Colonel lead to 4-2. A curve is in from David Austin for a strike called to Ryan King.
And you're right, John. The Colonels issuing 2 errors, however, they were able to neutralize those and not let them translate into runs.
A ground ball to deep short, backhanded by Wood. Brandon throws to second for a dazzling fourth of Kila Ka'aihue. And Matt, you and I have had the luxury of seeing Brandon Wood play here most of the year, and he makes so many good plays in the hole. And the thing about that play, it wasn't just the range he showed to his left, but how much steam he got on his throw to Billy Boyer.
Right. That was just an absolutely beautiful throw.
Kevin Ryan King reaches on a 2 outfielder's choice. He's at first. And the batter's Mike Gaffney. Ball 1 upstairs to Gaffney. What a striking contrast. The Colonels finishing just a game back of Kane County in the first half standings. The Cougars are 20-9 in the second half. They lead the Western Division second half standings by 3 games over the Lumber Kings, 4 ahead of Quad Cities. Beloit, who swept us, is 5 out. And then the Colonels and Bees with identical 14-15 record, 6 out. Swing and a tip foul by Gaffney, strike 1 to Mike. We'll see the Kane County Cougars this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in a place that I call the Madhouse, Philip Elstrom Stadium. More kids come to games in suburban Chicagoland than I can even imagine. Gaffney laces one into right. Blake Balcom is right there, and Blake has it to end the inning. Mike Gaffney flies to right. And in the 8th, no runs for the Bees, no hits, a walk. There were no Colonel errors. Burlington leaves a runner. They've now left 8 aboard in their 8 at-bats. After 7.5, Colonels lead Burlington 6-2. This is Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
When we met at Spaghetti, we would never forget Zio Giano's. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try their delicious salads and sub sandwiches too. Zio Giano's is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember Zio Giano's with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
When you need group transportation, there is only one name you need to remember. That name is Tri-State Travel, transportation provider for the Cedar Rapids Kernels and hundreds of other schools, organizations, and associations in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, and Waterloo area. Check our unblemished safety record, compare our pricing, and then climb aboard one of Tri-State Travel's modern deluxe motor coaches and experience our award-winning service. Tri-State Travel, the leader in motor coach group transportation.
Michael Collins will come to the plate for the Colonels, looking to extend a 6-2 lead. The Colonels have out-hit the Bees 8-4, have issued 2 errors, but those have not done too much damage for the Colonels. Unlike last night where the Bees had 3 errors and lost 3-2.
Yeah, those were the difference in the game.
And we have some action in the Colonel bullpen.
Ball 1 misses inside to Michael Collins from Alexis Encarnacion. Just a gorgeous sunny Sunday afternoon.
Is that Aaron Pullen in the hill?
Aaron Pullen. Yeah, he's working, Matt. Collins takes a strike. Aaron Pullen last worked Wednesday in that dreadful 10-0 pounding the Colonels suffered here. We are glad that's history. Matt, you know, it's taken me, this is my 9th year with the Colonels, and it's taken me that long to really finally understand that a swing and a miss on a curveball, it's 1 or 2 and 2 to Collins, that you just can't let a big win or a devastating loss or a drubbing ruin your entire season. It's tough to put it out of your mind for the very next game, tough enough to do that, but you can't let it spoil the whole series, the whole homestand, or your whole week.
No, we've seen the Kernels bounce back pretty well here after that crushing series against Beloit, excuse me.
Fouling one straight back.
Sometimes a team is just on a roll and there's not much you can do to stop it. And that seemed to be the case with Beloit. Everything they were doing was perfect.
Everything, you're right, Matt, was absolutely perfect. 2 and 2 to Michael Collins. Right-handed hitting catcher, serving as the DH this afternoon, batting 5th in the Allen Motor Company order. A curveball is lifted into shallow left, and the third baseman and shortstop converge. It's the shortstop, Mike Gaffney, 2 steps back on the grass in shallow left to put the squeeze on it. 1 gone in the Kernel 8th inning. Looking ahead to the B 9th with the Kernels ahead 6-2 here, Burlington will have the lower 2 in their order due up before the leadoff batter, Brett Groves, bats. And Jim Gabella has shown more propensity to pinch hit in this Midwest League than any other manager I've seen. Ball 1 taken low by Blake Balcom. It looks like Aaron Pullen's going to come on and work the 9th inning. What a job David Austin did spelling Rodriguez. A worm burner now takes a big charity hop to Gaffney and Mike on to first. Blake Balcom, 0 for 3 this afternoon, was hit by a pitch and scored on a Matt Brown triple in the 6th inning. 2 away in the Kernel 8th inning. David Austin went 2 1/3 innings out of the Kernel bullpen, surrendering no runs on only 1 hit. Austin struck out 2, he struck out 2 and walked 1. Can Matt Brown get a Kernel 2-out rally going here in the bottom of the 8th inning? Ball 1 low, another changeup. They're still enjoying the picnic out on the Randy Keel Confidence Pavilion in left field. Why not? Ball 2 is downstairs, another changeup. We've seen more changeups from these 2 B pitchers today, Atenzio and Encarnacion, than we've seen in the whole second half of the season.
And it's been kind of feast or famine for them as well with the changeups.
A fastball, and that one is pulled foul off the third base railing of the B dugout.
Bobby Magallanes will pass out the ball to a lucky fan who will pick up a lifetime honorary Kernel contract and a free spaghetti dinner from Zio Giano. But as I was saying, John, feast or famine with that changeup today. It's either been working like a buzzsaw, as you described it earlier, or the Kernels have just taken advantage of it, which has resulted in 3 triples.
A high, lazy pop-up to the left side of the B infield, and in fair ground where the dirt meets the grass of the outfield, it's Brett Groves who makes the play, and that ends the Kernel 8th inning as Matt Brown pops to third. The Kernels go in order for the second straight inning against right-hander Alexis Encarnacion. We go to the bottom of the 9th on a lovely Sunday. The Kernels 6, Burlington 2. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Okay, so I'm dropping my daughter off at daycare, and as I'm walking out, I see myself in the double doors.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is right. My hair looks terrible. My ends are all scraggly, and my roots. Did you see my roots? I can't believe I've been walking around like this.
Have you tried Cost Cutters?
Oh, I'd love to get my hair done, but who has the time? With work and the kids, I barely have time to find matching socks, let alone time for my hair. Besides, I need the work.
Just go to Cost Cutters. They'll have you in and out looking great in no time.
Yeah?
Yeah. At Cost Cutters, the stylist will keep you looking great with a new cut, some color, even highlights. Check out mine.
Oh, so Cost Cutters is your secret.
Yep. I even get my favorite products there. You know, shampoo, conditioner.
That's it. I'm going to Cost Cutters. Right now? My roots. Thank you.
There are a dozen Cost Cutters here in our area, each offering a relaxed, convenient hair care experience with no appointments and no hassles. Cost Cutters make things easy and affordable with professional stylists who care about you. Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
Advanced Systems, the leader in office technology, is like a great baseball coach when it comes to office productivity. Advanced Systems makes the most of your team. They do it with the latest technology for office productivity from Canon. They're also like a great trainer. Advanced Systems Advanced Life Support makes sure your office equipment runs at peak levels and fixes it fast if things go wrong. Hit it over the fence with Canon technology from Advanced Systems. Call 832-8291.
This is for the 21st century with Advanced Systems.
Aaron Pullen, right-hander, 23 years old, from the University of Texas, Arlington. As we said, pitched an inning in the third in a Kernels 10-0 loss earlier on this homestand Wednesday night against Beloit. An inning in the third, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, struck out 2, walked none. Pullen, the second Kernel reliever, David Austin, pitched 2 1/3 shutout innings, and Pullen will face left-hander Brian Graham to start the ninth. Kernels up by 4, 6-2, a strike on the outside edge.
Pullen's season line reads like this: a record of 7 wins, 2 losses, a 5.33 ERA. This is his 33rd appearance. He has 2 saves already. Through 52 1/3 innings of work, he's allowed 48 hits, walked 20, fanned 48, and league batters are hitting .240 against him.
The next pitch was swung on and missed. Strike 2 to Brian Graham. Now swing and a miss on a half swing and a 3-pitch strikeout of Graham by Aaron Pullen. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning.
Graham tried to check that swing, but had a little bit too much on it. Dixon Sturman said he went around.
Jeff Berry singled leading off the 7th inning for the Bees, and he is 1 for 3. The Kernels lead it 6-2 in the top of the 9th, and Aaron Pullen fires low for ball 1. We're going to play the 3rd game of this 4-game series at Community Field tomorrow evening. A bouncer to third. Matt Brown quickly to his left to cut it off and fires in time. 2 gone in the top of the 9th inning. The Kernels trying to go 15-15 in the second half, and also trying to give Rafael Rodriguez his first win of the season. Rafi was 0-2 in 3 starts back in April before the elbow injury sidelined him for almost 4 months.
Pullen's 1 out away from recording his 3rd save of the year.
Aaron's pitch, low and away, ball 1 to Brett Groves. Groves, a switch hitter, batting left, 0 for 3, does have a walk to his credit. Strike called from Aaron Pullen. Base is empty, 2 out, top of the 9th inning, 6-2 Kernels. Pullen was into his windup, and the plate umpire called time.
The wind blowing in steadily now as the pitch is strike.
Yes, it was dribbled foul between the legs of the catcher. And that's strike 2 to Brett Groves.
And the crowd is going to get behind Pullen here.
Listen to him, Matt. Ooh, a pitch just low. I can say one thing about your Cubs. Their fans started that tradition of rising in the 9th inning. A bouncer to Baltazar Lopez. He gloves, underhands. Aaron Pullen tags the base for a Kernels 6-2 win. The Kernels are now 15-15 in the second half. The Kernels are 11-3 against Burlington, and Rafael Rodriguez gets his first win of the year. Brett Groves bounces out. Lopez to Pullen covering to end the game. Down in order, Aaron Pullen sets the Bees in the top of the 9th inning. The Kernels win it today 6-2. We'll wrap up this beautiful Sunday afternoon of action on the Kernel Curtain Call when we return. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Kernels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurants have something new for you to cheer about this season. A Taco Bell 10 spot. When the Kernels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco, limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Kernels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by plating 10 or more runs in any game, you get up to 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
of Mexico. Her voice soars above a sweet Spanish guitar. And her hair like Delta pepper. Originality made her a star. The taste of Delta pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and gives life a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, that is better, that's better. And then you find a stage, a child came of age with a song of passion from the heart. And everyone could tell Ana Gabrielle was an original from the start. The taste of Delta pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and gives life a personality. You do what you do. Be you, nothing's better, nothing better. Be you, do what you do.
I'm Jim Priest, and this is our staff at Priest & Associates Realtors. We're Decora's real estate specialists with a combined over 140 years of listing and selling experience. Call us for all your real estate needs and experience better service by far.
Agora Arts and Decora offers an amazing selection of contemporary art, fine craft, and jewelry by over 200 local, regional, and global artists. You simply won't find a better selection anywhere in eastern Iowa. Stop by and see for yourself. Agora Arts in downtown Decorah.
Hacker Nelson & Company, CPA and business consultants, has served the Decorah area for more than 40 years. We provide audit and accounting services, income tax planning and preparation, and business consulting. The team of experts at Hacker Nelson & Company will meet all of your accounting needs.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call, right here on The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. With a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Kernels game, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
Christmas in July was a success on the diamond. It was also Vinton Day at the ballpark, and that combination, Vinton Day and Christmas in July, brought to us by Center Stage, was the impetus or part of the scene here as the Kernels beat Burlington for the 11th time in 14 games. 6-2 Kernels behind Rafael Rodriguez's return. Rafael Rodriguez was sidelined after going 0-2 in the month of April. He made 4 starts in Mesa, and he came into the new Veterans Memorial Stadium this afternoon and pitched brilliantly in his Kernel return, 5 2/3 innings, striking out 8 Burlington batters. The Kernels fell behind the Bees in the first inning, a one-out double by Brandon Powell. Little did we know that would be the last Burlington hit until a 2-out double in the 6th by Kevin Reinking. But Powell's double in the first helped the Bees score. He went to third on a ground ball out by Chris Lubanski and scored as Cole Hilt's bouncer to Billy Boyer was mishandled for an error, and Brandon Powell scored to make it 1-0. The Kernels, though, got 3 straight hits from Cosby, Pauley, and Wood to tie the game at 1 in the bottom of the first inning. That Kernel first inning highlighted by a beautifully executed hit-and-run single by Matt Pauley, sending Quan Cosby to third, and then Brandon Wood broke his bat and singled into left. For his 51st RBI of the year, we were tied 1-1. In the bottom of the third inning, the Kernels scored 3 runs. A leadoff infield single by leadoff batter Quan Cosby. He then stole second, went to third on a wild pitch. After Matt Pauley struck out, Brandon Wood socked a triple above the leaping effort of Brian Graham in left. An RBI triple for Wood that put the Kernels ahead 2-1. Brandon scored on a triple by Baltazar Lopez down the right field line to make it 3-1, and then Lopez scored on a Greg Atenzio wild pitch, and the Kernels led 4-1 after 3 innings. Burlington cut that lead in half in the 6th inning. A 2-out double by Kevin Reinking off Rafael Rodriguez, the Bee first hit since the Brandon Powell double in the first inning. Then Mike Gaffney lined a single past the outstretched mitt of Kernel starter Rafael Rodriguez, an RBI single to plate Reinking and cut the Kernel lead to 4-2. The Kernels, though, scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the lead 6-2. Blake Balcom was hit with 1 out. Then Matt Brown tripled into right center, scoring Balcom to make it 5-2. In came Alexis Encarnacion. Bobby Wilson hammered a single into left field to plate Matt Brown and make it 6-2 Kernels. That was the final. David Austin came on and spun 2 1/3 shutout innings for starter and winner Rafael Rodriguez. Aaron Pullen set down the Bees quietly in the top of the 9th inning as the Kernels up their second half record now to 15-15. The final line score, 6 runs, 8 hits. The Kernels committed 2 errors and we stranded 4. Burlington 2 runs, just 4 hits, no errors. The Bees left 8 men on. Rafael Rodriguez, a 10-game winner for the Kernels last year, notches his first win of the 2004 season. He's 1-2. The loser was right-hander Greg Atenzio, the Burlington starter, who slips to 7-9. 2,368 here to see it on Christmas in July, brought to us by Center Stage. The game took 2 hours and 25 minutes. 6-2 Kernels will return in a minute to enjoy our Liberty Bank star plays of the game. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels would like to thank the legions of parents throughout the community who are encouraging and helping their children to read this summer. The time and attention you spend supporting your child's reading effort means the world to them. Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels thank you for making a true difference in the welfare of your children. From helping them pick out their books to initialing their bookmarks and bringing them to the stadium to get their reading rewards, from Toyota Financial Services, you're the best.
Your attention, please. Here's an important reminder for Cedar Rapids area residents from your friends at Solid Waste and Recycling. The 6th Street Recycling Center is no longer open, but you can still recycle cardboard, newspapers, magazines, paper, glass, and plastics at City Carton on Ingleside Drive, 3 blocks west of 6th Street. It's free, convenient, easy to use, and open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember the new recycling location, City Carton on Ingleside Drive, west of 6th Street, near Hawkeye Downs.
As the children enjoy train rides and running around the bases and playing catch. In fact, one of the Kernel players is out playing catch, and I think that may be Bobby Wilson in right field playing catch with a youngster. The Kernels whip Burlington 6-2, out hitting the Bees 8-4, and get a very, very encouraging comeback in his first start since mid-April by right-hander Rafael Rodriguez, who pitched 5 2/3 and allowed just 2 runs on 3 hits, fanning 8, walking 3. Liberty Bank, Iowa's fastest growing bank, is proud to present our Liberty Bank star play of the game. We were tied at 1 with Quan Cosby at 3rd, 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. This is our first Liberty Bank star play of the game.
A deep drive to left, way back at the wall. Graham on the warning track, looks up, and he cannot get it. It's high off the top of the padded wall of the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Wood is safely into 3rd with his 5th triple of the year.
Brandon Wood tripling high off the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion wall and left, made it 2-1. With Wood at 3rd, the next batter was Baltazar Lopez. Here's our second Liberty Bank star play of the game.
Infield in, Lopez, the left-handed batter, drills one fair into the right field corner. This will be at least a double. Brandon Wood is home to make it 3-1. Baltazar is trying for 3. He is going to make it with an RBI triple.
And that made it 3-1. Lopez would then score on a wild pitch to make it 4-1. It was 4-1 when 4-2 when the Kernels batted with Blake Balcom at first, 1 out in the 6th inning. And here is our third and final Liberty Bank star play of the game.
A deep drive lashed into right center. Lubanski will not get it. Blake Balcom will score to make it 5-2 Kernels. Matt Brown is speeding towards 3rd. The relay throw is late, and Matt Brown has the 3rd Kernel triple of the game. It's 5-2 Kernels.
Matt Brown with the 3rd triple of the game to drive in a run. The Kernels with a trifecta of sorts, 3 RBI triples from Wood, Lopez, and Brown in knocking off the Bees for the 11th time in 14 games today. 6-2. Those are our Liberty Bank star plays of the game. A fresh batch of scores have just arrived for Kernel broadcast assistant Matt Moss Matt will take a look at all the scores across the big leagues next on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Gas prices giving you the blues? Get into Randy Keel Honda and save with great fuel mileage on all Hondas in stock. Still need the SUV, you say? Well, the competitive CR-V will get 24 miles to the gallon. The safest, best family sedan, the Honda Accord, will definitely save the family pocketbook with 34 miles to the gallon. Save even more on gas mileage with the compact Civic, getting you there in 38 miles to the gallon. Or the amazing fuel mileage of the Honda Civic Hybrid, 48 miles to the gallon. And that is in the city. Randy Keel Honda has a huge selection of pre-owned Hondas, too, all with exceptional fuel mileage. Randy Keel Honda, the home of confidence, has many other pre-owned vehicles priced to move as well. Randy Keel Honda boasts the best prices in Iowa on new and pre-owned vehicles. Start the savings now and get into Randy Keel Honda, 4425 Centerpoint Road Northeast, or on the web at randykeel.com.
The Kernels victorious once again, 6-2 the final, upending the Bees, and Game 3 of this 4-game set will be played at Community Field tomorrow night in Burlington. But now, John, we got to take a look at a complete look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, Gary Schubert, and Lanny Peterson. A lot of finals logged in. Today's daytime action will start things off in the AL at Jacobs Field. The Tribe upended the B Parents Club. The Kansas City Royals 5-1 was the final. At the Sky Dome, the Blue Jays flew past the Devil Rays 5-3 was that final. At Camden Yards, the Twins all over the Orioles 8-4 was that final. In the top of the 7th inning, the Tigers up 9-2 against the White Sox at Chicago. In Oakland, the A's working on a shutout of the Rangers. 5-0 was the score in the top of the 5th. And out on the West Coast at Safeco Field, the Mariners up 2-1 against our parent club, the Angels, in the bottom of the 6th. And tonight on the Zone, starting at 7:05, you can listen to the Yankees and the Red Sox at Fenway, the third match in that dramatic series. And continuing the NL, the Expos beat the Marlins 6-4 at Olympic Stadium. At Shea Stadium, the Braves clipped the Mets 4-3. At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies edged the Cubs 3-2. Eric Milton's no-hitter was spoiled in the 8th inning. At PNC Park, the Pirates nipped the Reds 6-5. The Astros sunk the Brewers 9-1 at Minute Maid Park. And John, your Cardinals blanked the Giants 6-0 at Busch. And in continuing action on the West Coast in the NL, in LA, the Padres up 2-0 over the Dodgers in the top of the 6th. And at Bank One, they're scoreless, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks in the top of the 5th. And John, that's a complete look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard.
Thank you so much, Matt Moss. We'll look forward to continuing this series in Burlington tomorrow evening. 6:40 dugout interview time, 7 o'clock first pitch. The Kernels have mastered the Bees to a high degree of success, beating them 6-2 this afternoon, and now taking 11 of 14 from the Kansas City Royal farmhands this season. Matt Moss, thank you so much for being with us on this beautiful, sunny, delightful Sunday afternoon. Thanks to Deb Williams, our in-studio engineer. The Kernels bag a 6-2 victory on this Sunday. 6:40 dugout interview time tomorrow from Community Field in Burlington. Thanks for being with us. So long from the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. You've been listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming, already in progress.